A night in with Mauler and the drinker, getting trashed with the web screen thinkers. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop up the cork, have a glass of wine, I'll say, I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, Mauler and the critical drinker.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Open Bar 16. Hey, what are you guys doing here? Get out!
They're trying to kick us out already. What the fuck?
This is, I guess, Muller. This is the bit where we have to pretend that we haven't just been talking backstage. It's like, oh, hello, fancy seeing you here. How are you?
Right on time. Are we on time?
Yeah.
No, but it's close enough.
we're never on time. Yeah, this is what happens. Gary's influence has fucked this stream now, and it's
fault, yeah.
Just, I'm going to blame him for it. Yeah, I hope you like the background that I laid on for everyone. By the way, it just
I get to be female Thor. You have to be King Valkyrie.
I get to be King Valkyrie's forehead. At least you get to see her head.
The ranks are confusing to me. Okay, and they sit together. Does that mean that they rule together? I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Thing is, like, I don't know if it's just the perspective, but Lady Thor looks a little bit higher up than King Valkyrie. I don't know, man.
She does. Maybe she's got a little booster pad.
What's higher? Is it a god or a king?
I don't. Yeah, you know, just get Thor in there. He's a god king. There you go.
Yeah. Well, not in this universe now. He's sad Thor.
Sad Thor. You know? He's not fat Thor anymore. That's what, we got that.
No, that's true. I like how they actually threw in a little workout sequence to show him losing the weight. So, yeah, nice one. But I'll tell you who's not sad, and that is Gary from Nerdrotic. Hey, man.
It's my fault. It's all my fault that they're late, even though it kind of wasn't. But that's okay. I'll take the blame. It's fine.
It is definitely my fault.
Lies and slander. Obviously, you, Gary.
Libel, too, right?
Yes, all of the ones.
I learned that from Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Did not know until I saw that. So, no clue. Hi. Hey, thanks for having me on. Plenty to talk about. So much good stuff out there. Can't wait.
It's a target-rich environment, shall we say.
Yes.
It just got me thinking about Top Gun, actually. I can't fucking wait to see Top Gun 2. A good film.
I know. It's they did this Top Gun Tuesday thing. I don't know if they're doing it for you, but you were able to, I got tickets. Can't wait to go see it.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to some jingoism. Let's do it.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's Thursday. I'm going to go see it.
Did you see at Con? They flew jets over with red, white, and blue. I was like, what?
Oh, fucking hell. That's the kind of shit I miss in movies. Just absolute fucking balls to the wall, having a laugh with it. Yeah, full on. Love it. And we have got, last but not least, it's a Gundam. Holy shit, man.
Hashtag me poo.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah.
Can I get away with that, not too much?
No, I think it's not enough. I want more.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. No, it's been a while since you've been on the stream, man, so it's great to have you back. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Well, we all know that time is relative.
It is, yes. But my time away from you, Gundam, the minutes stretch out into days, so
it's hard to find anyone that's more fucked up than yourself, So when you find someone, you hold on to them. That way you can always point I'm not as bad as this guy.
Hey, I'm the one wearing a shirt and tie tonight, I'm well dressed for this evening.
Oh, so I'm not now all of a sudden. I see.
I'm wearing a shirt. There's no tie. There's a rip in this pocket right here. There's stains from cat food. I wasn't eating it though.
That's all right. Honestly, I have spilled beer all over my trousers. I popped this one open, and I don't know why. Sometimes they just fucking explode, and it just went all over me. So, yeah, great way to start the stream. But never mind. So you gentlemen, it's great to have you here, and you'll be all pleased to know that we've got a brand new Marvel show coming up. Woo. To add to the 500 that have already been released so far.
Maybe this one will be good.
Yeah, I've got a good feeling. Marvel She-Hulk.
Am I watching it again?
When you see like She-Hulk comboed up with Echo, comboed up with Harkness, you're like, what are we doing? Like, who are these people?
Did you hear the synopsis for Echo?
No, what is it?
She leaves New York to go back to her indigenous family to reconnect. That's it. No Daredevil, no Kingpin. They made a big point that there's like it's all indigenous. It's an indigenous showrunner, indigenous director. That's great. Maybe it'll be the best show ever of a person who can't talk. That's it's sad that we haven't heard much about the Echo show. Sorry.
I'm sure there'll be cameos, Gary. Don't worry. I'm sure we'll get Galactus might show up in a little town. He'll be like, hey.
That'd be so great.
And she kicks him in the balls, and he's like, "Ah, you got me."
Metal leg.
Oh, you're such a strong female.
You found my weakness, my balls. Ugh.
You do have to question the longevity of having a protagonist that can't talk. I mean, damn man, they're gonna have to go some to make this one work.
Yeah, that'll be it. And
I am so sorry. I'm sitting here like, Echo, who the fuck is that?
Yes,
Then I remember, I like Googled it, and it's like, oh, it's that character that sucks so bad I completely forgot she existed.
You are
That's the one
on the planet.
What the fuck is this?
It's everyone's favorite. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Marvel sucks so bad. Oh,
by the way, because we've talked about this before, right? How every new Marvel TV show that comes out spawns like 3 others. It's like the Borg or something. They just like take over and replicate, and then assimilate,
like the
carry
gay
on.
Borg.
They are like the gayest of Borgs. Yeah, they're stunning and brave Borg. But yeah, like I am willing to bet after watching Moon Knight that Red Scarab is going to get a show.
Oh God,
I will bet.
It'll be in the Avengers. I think we are one step closer to A-Force, which is all my Christmases and birthdays wrapped up into one as a content creator. I want this to be so bad. Please. Santa.
It'll tide you over until Captain Marvel 2.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
Right.
I just got to bring up one super chat because it came in and it was fucking huge, so I just wanted to bring it up here. It was from Astro Nerdboy who gave me $100. He says, "I'm catching up on your old streams now. I love them. Did you ever watch Yellowbeard or Ice Pirates? If so, what did you think of them?" I mean, I haven't seen them. I don't know if you, Gary, I see you nodding there.
Yes, I love them both. I saw them as a kid. I watched them in the video store I worked at. Love those movies.
What is Ice Pirates? I'm curious.
Ice Pirates. I'm forgetting the guy's name. He was in Vegas, but it's a sci-fi movie in the era where it's pure 80s. It's 80s gold. It's like Last Starfighter ish kind of cheesy.
Red Letter Media covered it. If you saw that drinker,
yeah.
It's like some weird thing of like Rich's childhood where he's like checking out some of these films and you find out about him and you're like, what the hell? What is Ice Pirates? And there's just like all this crazy shit in it, but looks like a lot of fun.
That's kind of what prompted them to do Enemy Mine as well. It's just like movies that they really watched as kids and then totally forgot about and hadn't seen for 30 years. And like revisiting them, they're like, oh wow, the special effects are fucking awful. But yeah, no, I'm intrigued enough to watch it anyway. But yeah, when we were talking there about She-Hulk, I saw the trailer the other day. I reacted to it, and it's a weird one because the character from the comics was actually pretty popular, wasn't she?
Yeah, She-Hulk did get kind of popular. I'd say in her second run,
very popular.
Because she was kind of fourth wall breaking, kind of funny. And,
yeah, I've bought every risque She-Hulk issue that came out from her second run. They're like little bars of gold.
They are. Like John Byrne got objectified the hell out of her, and it was
a good old time.
It was a good old time, and she'd like try to let she'd bitch him out from the page. Like, how many times are you going to try to get me naked? It's
yeah.
If you don't buy my comic, I'm going to destroy your X-Men comics. And she's got like a copy of the X-Men.
Yeah, I saw a picture of her where she was like basically naked and she was like jumping rope or something.
The Vanity Fair issue. Oh no, that's the other one.
Well, they did.
Yeah,
They lampooned the Demi Moore cover too, or
yeah.
she was.
But she was even saying there, like, damn, the things I have to do to sell copies.
Uh-huh.
See, that's when comics were fun.
Yes, they were. When life was fun.
Oh yeah.
Movies were fun.
Remember when movies were fun? Yeah, it's all about fun.
Yeah, remember when entertainment was about entertaining you? Wow.
It's
Those were crazy days, Gundam.
yeah.
I mean,
Hey.
I'll give them credit at least because, as I understand it, like they changed the entire design of the character in the comic books for the most recent issues, so she just looks like the male version of Hulk,
Yes.
No,
but
she's
with a
back to normal
ponytail.
now.
Now she's back.
Oh, have they changed her back again?
for the
Yes.
show. Yes.
I'm
Right.
not gonna
Okay.
lie. I bought the issue where it was a homage to the Wolverine and Hulk cover where they're wearing suits. So it's X-23 and She-Hulk. I didn't read it though.
Of course. You know how it's going to end up. Yeah, she had a pretty good run in like the mid-aughts as well, where it was still kind of fun things, but it's nothing compared to John Byrne's run. And when she was in the Fantastic Four, it was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
early 2000s we're talking.
Early 2000, yeah, right around when I bought my shop, like things were still pretty good.
Yeah.
Thing.
Great cover. She-Hulk still looked like a very attractive woman.
Yes.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Like in the comics, does she suffer some injury or some illness or whatever that means she has to get a blood transfusion from Bruce?
And then she starts out as Savage She-Hulk for a bit, and then they turn her into the Jennifer Walters that we know and love.
See, I ask this because in the show, like based on the trailer at least, it kind of looks like she's
she
just
already
doing
has
this
power, yeah.
voluntarily. Like it's just a fun little experiment for her. You know, she's in there. She's been given the serum, and she's got like the whirling blades that are going to chop her up and to induce fear, just so they could get that line in there about like.
That's a great line. Great.
You know what I
line.
kind of hate about the whole thing? The whole Smart Hulk thing right now. It
Yeah.
just bothers me.
I don't
They're
like
gonna-
Professor Hulk.
I thought you were gonna
Like,
go
it-
further than that. Like,
No, it's just like, wasn't he gray when he was intelligent too? Or am I losing my
Well,
mind?
it's different personas, right? There's like the Mr. Fix-It persona. He started out gray. So as Hulk went on, you find out that he's kind of got a dissociative identity disorder, but it's within the Hulk. And like Professor Hulk is cool. It's from basically the Peter David run on, but that was
I missed that one.
they built up to that. And I mean, I talk about this all the time. They take elements out of the comics that without the context of the comics, we're talking hundreds of stories and
Exactly.
lots of and hundreds of extra characters. And I'm not over exaggerating there, over like a 20-year period.
And they mashed it all together.
And they like, oh, well, it's from the comics. Well, yeah, that one element. So what? I mean, it without all the other characters that are part of that story, it's lame. That's, why when they do the Dark Phoenix saga for the third time,
Mhm.
it doesn't, you need all the X-Men for that. And if you're missing any X-Men, if you're going to do Secret Wars and you're missing fantastic, like even Infinity Gauntlet, you're missing you're missing
Don't bring this up. You're killing me.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. It's just not as good. You're missing Daredevil and a bunch of stories. Yeah,
Black
it's,
costume Spider-Man.
What you're describing is the same thing the Halo show's going through. It's like they've just plucked random pieces of what they want to use, but they have forgotten all the context for why those things were working in the original content, and so now it fucks it all up. And as someone who knows fuck all about Hulk comics, can I just say that like this whole thing, like seeing She-Hulk the show, is like being at a concert and you're there to see, I don't know, fucking Rolling Stones, and they do like one song, maybe even half a song. And then it's like, right, now it's time for the main band. You're like, wait, what? No, hello, wait, where's Hulk? We haven't done anything
Find
for
out,
Hulk
like,
yet.
you go to the
Hello?
concert, it's all opening acts, and then you finally get the Stones, and Mick Jagger trips and falls off stage and breaks his hip, and then it like shows over.
If you look at Hulk throughout, like he's never really gotten his time. It's
Well,
always
I
been
mean,
supported.
he's a tough character to build a movie around, and the Incredible Hulk kind of proved that. Like,
but She-Hulk is the easy one to do, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
well,
girl power, you bigot.
I guess the premise is that because she retains her intelligence and her personality, she's like able
She's
to just
feared.
interact with people normally instead of just destroying entire cities.
I don't know, man. I almost want to push back and be like, I think Hulk is fascinating at a core concept. This character who's like this mild-mannered scientist type who's got.
I would prefer
this-
a normal Hulk movie where he's not always, smart Banner Hulk.
I feel like Avengers shot him off to being like, the fact that he says I'm always angry, right? That's a
Yes.
payoff, but it's also a setup for his own movie, easily.
I
It's
guess
just
they're
like-
probably worried after the Edward Norton run.
No, of course, like because the Incredible Hulk movie just didn't do as well as like Iron Man or Cap, right?
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
man, just he's so humiliated. He's like in a worse position than Thor.
He's emasculated, as he should be.
So
I can't see Mark Ruffalo carrying a
No.
film like that as well.
Well,
You got a good point.
I think.
I mean,
at least a
especially
sliver-
now, because fuck me, like the rest of them seem pretty good after 10 years, but that dude has aged badly.
So that
Yeah.
explains why he stays smart Hulk.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, because he looks like a fucking waterbed now.
That's actually, yeah, that's actually fair. Because I was just thinking, like, yeah, maybe it is. He's getting a bit too old to play the role. Because I think his best attempt at playing Hulk was in Avengers. He actually,
You know
like,
that when the time comes, they're going to do Asian Hulk and get rid of him.
oh, they probably will.
like he's there's no like control or intimidation with Bruce Banner as a character except in like that movie, and that's it.
I
Like,
agree.
and it sucks. He's pushed around by like everybody in every one of these movies.
And yeah,
Yeah.
The Avengers is clearly the best Hulk movie, and it absolutely should have been a movie of him working it out, and getting to Professor Hulk. Should have been a couple movies probably, because Mr. Fix-It would have been awesome. It's like a gray version. It's a gray mobster version of the Hulk. So I don't know how it would probably be kind of tough to do in films, especially when you're Disney Marvel and you can barely write.
Everything is tough for them, Gary.
Life is tough.
All of these shows, right? Especially when I was looking at this one and I was looking at the CGI of She-Hulk,
Sexy.
and I think,
Yeah.
God damn, it looks really rough. And like most of the time, she's not looking at things because like clearly, she's been composited in. And you get that weird outline around them, and it just smacks of a
Fiona.
production that's just rushed.
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. A lot of people are like, how is it that the CGI for fucking Yoda looks better in Attack of the Clones than this? It's like, because they probably got more
George
time.
Lucas cared.
This
Goldblum.
is yeah, this is
I
it's
don't
a
even
weird
wanna film
thing
the
where it's
CG
like
people. I want to leave the CG artists alone. I'm assuming it's the fact that they get crunched down into.
I think it's
having to do this really
crunch
quick.
time, and I think it's budget. And I don't know if it's just they're trying to produce so many TV shows and so many movies
Yeah.
all simultaneously. Are they just spreading their resources too thin?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Uh,
The shortage of people, and
Working from home.
according to people I've talked to, it's Netflix and Disney has like kind of sucked up all the effects people and completely overwhelmed them, and then they're farming a bunch out. So you're not seeing. Remember the good old days when ILM did the special effects for a movie?
There's a name I haven't heard in a billion years.
ILM. Remember the Orphanage, which was a bunch of people from ILM who broke away and did. I think the last thing they did was Iron Man or Iron Man 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. And then it turned into just we're going to farm it out to every effects house in
just anyone who's got a computer that can render stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, dude. It's gone to the point where even this is just something I happen to know because I happen to know people who worked on it. But Civil War. I don't know if you guys remember. There's a scene where Black Widow talks to T'Challa after the building explodes with his dad in it. When they filmed it, she didn't have any anything on her face that could have implied there was an explosion. And apparently they were like, oh well, there would be, right? Because of the rubble and the smoke, there should at least be something on her face. So they just grabbed someone I know from one company and just said, can you render out like 50 versions of just stuff on her face, and we'll just pick from them. Like that's the level of
Jesus.
jobs that are done. There's like a million different jobs for all different CG artists and all over the place. All these
They
companies.
couldn't get a makeup artist just to throw dust in her face.
Well, that's the fact is it was already done. They just forgot to
Ah.
do it on set.
That's baffling. That it's easier to just CGI an actress who's already done her performance than just bring her back in for like a day shooting.
It's gotten nuts that everything is relied upon CGI wise. It's all done
Even
in post. It's all
animation.
controllable and puppetable, as opposed to like getting everybody in and getting all the cameras and tech ready. And as opposed to you do this. You have this time. You will
Well,
get
that's
paid.
why we've got Stan Lee for 20 more years, even though he's dead.
Yeah, that's. That's another whole thing, man.
It's horrible. They should really rethink that decision.
I think they thought about it, and this is a good one.
Yeah. Well, this is the
Milk those bones.
vultures who are around that guy the last 20 years of his life. They were scum. Absolute
And 20
scum.
years after, I guess.
Yeah.
Fucking
Damn,
nuts, man.
man.
I've seen nobody reacting to that news positively. Everyone's just like, that's gross.
Just leave him alone. Yeah. It's really distasteful. I don't like it. Yeah, the other thing that jumped out at me, and I'm sure you guys picked up on this as well, is that line in the She-Hulk trailer where she's asked about being a superhero, and she's like, "That's for billionaires and narcissists and orphans."
Yeah.
Adult orphans. That's a line only a millennial would come up with, by the way. A bad
Yeah.
one. Sorry, millennials, but you know it's true.
And
I don't even know what
it's like you're literally alive now. You literally exist because of a billionaire narcissist that you look down on so much.
Yep.
Like when she said narcissist, my brain went to Captain Marvel, and I was like, okay, fair.
Yeah.
I was like, she's taking shots at poor Tony Stark, and he saved everybody.
They always take shots at Tony Stark. They all do.
I mean, this is it. Like they've kind of already demolished Captain America. They're well on the way to doing it with Thor. Probably they're going to do it with Hulk in this show. Yeah,
Well,
Tony's the
Iron
next
Man's
victim.
next.
Yeah, Iron Man's the next victim.
Cap was so foolish as to hand a shield to a black man without realizing what that means.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know,
should
what
have
does it mean?
recognized his privilege.
Oh,
What I just said was a fucking quote from the show. Pretty
Really?
much. Like,
I didn't bother watching. I'm not gonna lie. I'm out.
oh, it was shit.
It was the most clumsy, like half-assed, bludgeon you over the head way of handling like racial politics in America.
I'm so
time.
tired of racial politics. I could puke.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting way more, I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah.
Well,
But yeah,
hopefully they
I'm sure
bring-
there was a moment where Bucky apologized on behalf of Cap for
On behalf of
the
white
indignity
people.
of handing over the reins to
he
the
came really
Falcon.
close. He came really close at the end when Sam is throwing around the shield in the yard, and he basically, I'm paraphrasing what he says, like, I just didn't understand, man. We just didn't understand. It's like,
Understand what?
I mean, and this is the guy who absolutely deserved it 100 times more than Falcon did. Like he should have got it instead.
The fact that they didn't do Bucky as Captain America first, which is probably the only other Captain America design I liked.
yes,
It blows my mind.
Especially as a character who needs a new name, a new identity, because the Winter Soldier is this fucking monster that's assassinated loads of like really good people, and Bucky is this man who's torn between those worlds. It's like it was all right there, but you had to do the other story, didn't you?
You 2 movies you spent on this, on setting him up like I've got this redemptive arc, and that's all his motivation is. I got a penance. I got to do this for penance, even though it's not really his fault because he was brainwashed, but he's going to think that, and it drives him, and it can make him a totally different Cap. Forget that. That'd be totally dumb.
That's all right though, because the what the fuck are they called? The Daralama Damajaj or whatever from Wakanda. It's all right. They're always around to sort him out because they can apparently kick his ass in a fight and detach his arm.
Of course,
Wakanda
like
that
jurisdiction wherever they go because they're the best.
Yeah, anywhere they can. No warrants needed. They can just arrest people for no reason and imprison them with a trial. Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure if they depicted a white American dude doing that, that would be a war crime in the eyes of the show. But it's okay when they do it. Clearly,
part of the show is shitting on America / superheroes for going to places they're not fucking welcome and sorting out the problems there. But then they have the Dora Milaje proudly announce that's what they do. What the fuck? like
all
great writing.
War. I mean, at least in Civil War, they had some motive. Their king died, but after that, like it goes against everything that they were setting up. After Phase 4, I think there's a pretty good argument for registration at this point. After Wanda kidnapping an entire town,
yes,
all right, yeah.
Well, it's when
You
you
know what
mention
bothers me?
Civil War, because T'Challa just says like, yeah, he's killed my dad, so I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna kill him. Like it's just
it's
that makes
personal.
sense.
Then it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys see the Wanda stands on Twitter doing tweets about who suffered more than her?
I
And
did,
sitting there
yeah.
like, she kidnapped a town.
It's like, yeah, so someone who suffered more than her, and I just put a gif of like all those townspeople screaming and like begging to die. It's like, yeah, these people.
Yeah.
They do it with Ray all the time. They're like, Dave, so who suffered more than her. Shut up.
Logic matters. It matters in storytelling. I know
I just
Hollywood's completely forgotten that, but
I just think it's fantastic how in the world of Marvel now there's like certain characters or certain groups of characters that can do anything and never get criticized for it and never suffer any repercussions for it because that's their morality, I suppose.
what about
People are out there saying like she just wanted her kids though, and you're like, did you see what she did? Like, what? And they weren't even her kids. What the
They
fuck?
were imaginary children.
they were little squares. They were pixelated kids. They showed it.
She was
and-
literally Chris
Dude,
Chan
even
with
if they were
power.
real and they were brutally fucking butchered in front of her, and so she has to go to different users to get stuff, it's like those ones aren't yours though. They belong to a different one. You fucking crazy person.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
But no,
What
it's a
about
mother's love for kids.
Valkyrie? Yeah, I think you pointed this out, Mahler, because I didn't even think about it. Because Ragnarok was more than a couple years ago, way beyond my memory span. But didn't she like capture and enslave people for
Yep.
a fight to death? And
She's
now
never
never
that's
answered
never
for it.
addressed really. Her failings, which are significant when you consider what they tell us in Ragnarok, aren't really. It's fine. Don't worry about it. She's pretty cool.
Well,
Don't
she's
worry
a
about it.
PLC now, you bigot.
When Thor gets chastised like all the time, and he will be in this film, I'm sure of it. They're gonna rip into him for his failures over the blip and stuff, and like his
I hate what they've
response to
done
it.
with Thor.
I'm
Yep.
almost certain Mighty Thor, she's going to be a paragon. She's going to be the
Yep.
kind of person that everyone should aspire to be.
Oh, you think?
And I
Like,
swear to
fucking,
God, if
as
they
if
have
there's
the
any
scene,
doubt. Jesus Christ! Like,
if
yeah,
they
they
have
are
a scene
never going to
where-
portray her in a negative light. She is
Do you
going to be
guys-
perfect.
No.
I'm probably the person who likes Ragnarok the most here, but like one of the things, there's a couple of compliments I give it, but like I really like Anthony Hopkins' speech to Thor to encourage him and inspire him. The stuff
Yeah.
about what it means to be a king and stuff. It's just we got very little of him in that movie, and he's dressed in not at all Odin stuff, which makes you just think like, did he shoot this in his house? And like, also, I don't know. Because like I think he gradually like Thor 2 is a bit weird for Odin, and then the third one he's not really into that much. I really like him as Odin, is what I'm trying to say. But like him getting inspired by his father in relation to being the king of Asgard, it's all gravy to me. I swear to God, if they have anything close to that, like a scene like that, but he's getting inspired by Mighty Thor, it's gonna be like, okay.
Well,
All
it's all.
I am sick of Thor constantly like getting the path laid out for him and then just walking away from it. It's like you have now reached the end of your journey. You know, you've
Russos
learned
fucked him up.
everything that you need to learn to be a leader. You've learned humility, you've learned maturity, you've learned restraint, you've learned wisdom, you know, you've learned self-sacrifice through all your different experiences. You now are equipped to be a leader. And now what you're going to do, you're going to like abandon everything and go off and find yourself. Like, fuck off. That's not
the blame should be split there between Waititi and Russo's, because he was set. In fact, what you just said I think is really interesting, considering they decided to give him all of that and then take everything from him, all of his people, all of his friends, his family, all of it's gone. What happens to him? And I think all of us were like, punish Thor, angry punish Thor, fat Thor. Oh.
Mhm.
And
Endgame ruined him. Yeah.
Well, I say that's the Russos. Could have been studio. Whoever decided. Endgame absolutely fucking obliterates him, because Infinity War was like this beautiful layup for Thor, especially the whole "you missed" thing. I could only see that making him even more angry and bitter about everything. But he just fucking overeats and plays Fortnite. You fucked him, and now Taika's like, so now what am I supposed to do with him? And it's like, well, good luck, bye. That's what the Russos did with everybody in the MCU, pretty much. And so yeah, I'm not interested in a fucking Thor movie where he's trying to find himself again. But I guess I'll have to see what we end up with. I ain't hopeful.
Well, I'll show you what we're going to end up with. Oh wait, no, I can't. Okay. How do I make it so that people can see the rest of this?
The background?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to do it as an overlay. So you got to go.
We really need to intern.
Fuck it. The gag's been blown now. It's done.
Well, hey, are we supposed to be talking about She-Hulk?
Yeah,
Totally
yeah.
done with that, because you saying about cringy lines from the trailer. One of the ones I want to highlight is and I'm gonna pop back to Avengers a little bit too with this, but you have Hulk going, yes, 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 and then she turns to him and he's like, no, 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 because he's like afraid of what she might do to him.
Yeah, you're the Hulk. Like, she can't physically harm you.
It's evidence to me that his character is completely gone. I don't know if you guys remember, but in Avengers, he baits out scaring Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow into pointing a gun at him, and he just smiles because he knows the gun's not going to do shit, and he knows that she was full of shit when she was trying to be reassuring and happy about him. He knows that she's stressed the fuck out because he's the Hulk. It's a really awesome character building scene.
Yeah,
it lets
but
you
more.
know he's in more control than most people even realize. He's the one that has all the stress.
That's a Bruce Banner with a tiny bit of edge to him.
Yep.
You can't have that now. That's not who Bruce is. And now he's just a goofy comedy, like, whipping boy, basically. He's there to be
That's what they
laughed
do with
at.
a lot of the male characters now.
You got a glimpse of it in Age of Ultron when he said, "I could choke you out without changing a shade," or something like that. It's a line that was like, "Damn, where the fuck is this character? Holy shit, give me that!" And now he's like, "Oh no, don't turn the don't open the door, no,
Don't break the door."
I'm so bored. Give me.
Yeah. Oh god, I hate it.
Do you remember how much everybody fucking rejoiced when they had Cap say Hulk smash?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, like that's what we want.
Is this is a real trend, isn't it, in the MCU? Like, to take characters that used to be kind of serious and turn them into just comedy punchlines. You know, Thor used to be a somewhat serious character. Now he's a joke. You know, the Endgame did that to him. And, well, with a little bit of help of Ragnarok, really, because that was a really comedy-focused movie. The Hulk, like you mentioned, had a bit of an edge to him. You know, he was terrifying when he turned into the Hulk. And as Bruce, there was a sinister side to him that you occasionally saw, that you got hints of, like, yeah, he knew the dark aspect of himself, and he was willing to use it when he needed to. Now, again, he's just this really lighthearted, goofy, funny Professor Hulk who's scared of someone half his size. Is this just what they do to characters now? Is this all that there is? Just make them into a joke?
I was talking to Fringy about this. I was like, imagine the different directions you could go to create conflict for these two. Could be that she gets this power, she ends up being completely normal, even normal enough to continue a normal life, but she gets all this strength and agility and stuff. Bruce could just be like, I kind of hate you because you haven't had to go through anything that I did. You've got all this for free, and you treat it as a fucking joke. It ain't a joke. People can get hurt. Like, you draw on the fact that what Wanda did to him in Age of Ultron. You'd be like, yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Just being this big, powerful brute. Like, yeah. And everyone loves her. And he could be like, yeah, fuck you. I have to live in a world where everyone fucking hates me. And all I ever
and he has to be
is help
afraid.
people. Like,
and he has to be afraid of
transforming. Personal drama. It's all flushed out the fucking toilet down. Instead, we just go like, I hope you I'm a big fan of you because you're a girl and also green. Like, that's as far as it's gonna go, I guess.
I really feel like this society is leaning towards the emasculation of males.
Overall. What? Who would have thought this, Gundam?
Well, I'm not used to being able to say that without someone yelling at me profusely.
I can't refute it, really.
You're amongst friends here. Don't worry.
Yeah, this is a safe space.
We're with no fucks to give at all about what they think or say. I am just happy that, like, my generation got to see a bunch of cool bands, got really high on drugs. I got laid a lot, and I got to keep my dick this whole time.
Yeah, the good times are fucking over.
Yeah.
Gary, someone in chat, I'm sorry, I have to highlight a drinker. Someone in chat said, hey, that kind of reminds me of when Angel and Spike, one of them took decades to deal with getting a soul. The other one was, he says, you spent 3 weeks moaning in a basement. What's fair about that? Like, you remember the histories of these characters and you leverage that for drama. It's the fucking way you write characters.
The entire Hulk comic for the first 30 years was Hulk want to be left alone. Why is military always trying to kill Hulk? That's the whole thing. He was hated, and he'd always help people, and he was always good, and he'd always get screwed over. That was the entire. You just incorporate that. I think you just brought up a great point that they're not going to bring up. Now they can't do a Hulk solo movie without Universal. For some reason, they won't partner with them and do it. So that's why they can't do a solo Hulk movie. But he can team up in anything. And I mean, which sucks because you don't get like the real Planet Hulk, which is a fantastic series.
They would never do Planet Hulk correctly.
Oh God, it's
like
so
how would they? Like even going to the planet with all the shit Hulk goes through, they wouldn't let it fly.
well,
And I'd also get pissed off if they brought in Silver Surfer because then it'd be even harder for me to get that Silver Surfer #1. But anyway.
You would need a Silver Surfer. You would need a Ghost Rider for later. You would need a Doctor. Well, you got Doctor Strange. You would need Fantastic, who sends him out there in the first place. Then you would need the reason why he sent him out there, which was completely effed up. And he was supposed to go to a nice, peaceful planet. Shit blows up. It's messed up. It's a
kills his wife. Can we say that or like? Well, she wasn't his wife. But, like I don't know if people care about like spoilers for comics. You know,
it was like the first time Hulk was happy.
Yes. Like he didn't go fuck anymore. He's like, I found my place. It's cool. Yeah. Boom. They nuke his fucking new home, kill his wife and unborn child. He comes back to Earth and lays down the most vicious smackdown ever. They'll never make it. It's too good to be done.
War Hulk. Good stuff.
This is, by the way, why the sentiment of please just reboot the MCU now, because it's so tangled and broken.
Reboot the MCU and let us take over. I guarantee you money.
Yeah, we'll write your movies for you.
When Sony first approached Spider-Man, their philosophy was, until they became like uber massive hits, was we're gonna treat it like Bond. We're gonna recast people, bring in new directors. We're gonna which they should have done. Instead of like having one actor play the character like Chris Evans, they should recast and just continue. But no, Disney Marvel was convinced that their consumers were so dumb that they could just, we can just change it. It's just everything's a mantle. Everything's a mantle. Believe me, they've tried this for years in comics and it just doesn't work.
No.
Once in a while, like something with like Green Lantern and Flash, because they set that precedent early, like back in the 60s, but it's very tough to pass a mantle. And then when they do it successfully, they take it back, like with Captain America.
Yeah, Bucky worked, and then we went right back to Steve Rogers. Then we went to, what's his name? Falcon. That's where we are now, right?
Yep.
They skipped to it into the MCU.
With Thor, the imagery matters. So they have Thor looking like Eric Masterson, who was a Thor who came on later, right? And then in the issue 400s. So Thor was originally Donald Blake, and you would he's like this crippled doctor guy, and he'd stick down and he'd become the Thor. And then they just got rid of Donald Blake, and then he
completely.
Was the Thor. Yeah. Then they melded in Eric Masterson, who was kind of like the second Thor. So they have our Thor playing the second fiddle Thor, basically, and Jane Foster is now the mighty Thor. So Thor Love and Thunder is her movie. So this is the kind of crap they are most definitely doing. And Disney's going to be the last to change. They don't even sense right now that like people are sick of this stuff. They're utterly sick of it. And even Doctor Strange, it did well, but
considering there's nothing else out there except an
had a pretty big drop, and I think Top Gun will probably wipe it out next week. We can only hope it's good.
I've seen people celebrating like, isn't it cool that Thor is the first guy to get 4 solo movies? And I was like, solo movie? In the same way that Doctor Strange just had a solo movie? Is that the kind of solo movie we're doing now? Is that what that is? Like, it's just
they're all just backdoor pilots for like the
weird TV shows and stepping stone movies to set up a whole bunch of other things. As we've said, you can skip Multiverse of Madness. It's like in the stories, like what have you missed? It's like, well, Wanda fucking offed herself, but she'll be back. Yeah. And then you have America Chavez has been introduced. Compare that to something like I don't know, even just a Civil War type where the whole world is supposed to have been changed forever, but then they realized the Accords would be too annoying to remember. So they got a throwaway line once or twice in a couple of things, but now they're just pretending they don't exist at all.
Does America Chavez still come from the lesbian planet in Multiverse Madness, or was that a solution? Yes. They left that in?
Her two mums are sucked into another universe because she got a bee landing on her arm.
Really?
Scared.
And she doesn't bother trying to get to him.
Even Marvel knew that was a dumb idea.
Yeah, well, they didn't get that memo.
Honestly, man, this this scene that you get, this little flashback to her childhood, it could not be more beautifully idyllic if they tried. There's like rainbows in the background. It's like she's walking through a field of flowers. There's like a waterfall and stuff, and her two moms are there, like loving each other, like just the most perfect, like happy scene you can imagine.
I'm crying
bee lands on
butterfly
her.
tears.
Yeah.
Isn't a penis in this entire reality, and then they get sucked through a hole.
Oh my god. Marvel, hire us before it's too late.
It's too late, man. They're done. They're done.
And yeah, like just as a lot of people commented, it's like there's barely any agency for Doctor Strange in that film. Every time he tried to do anything, it would fail until someone else told him what to do, and then it would work out. What do you think's gonna happen to Thor? He's gonna be fucking around, and then something really big bad will happen, and he'll probably be starting to lose a fight, and then Jane will show up,
Mm-hmm.
and then she'll tell him like, you failed as your mission as Thor. You didn't care about all these different realms. You didn't care about the people. You lost your way. It's time for you to get it back. And he's gonna be like, thank you.
And
Jane.
only I can show you.
Well,
It's funny as
her
well
and Valkyrie.
that picture that we've got in our background here. It's like
You can't even see the background, dude.
yeah. I'll take everyone out just for a second so people can see it.
Those
There you
Those
go.
are some good fake arms.
Those are
They are beautiful CGI arms.
Those are real. She really worked out, had a bunch of steroids and creatine, and hit the gym and deadlift 350 pounds. Stop it. And she holds
deadlift.
Then you get those on-set photos where she's just stood there like she's a rake. You know, it's like it's fake, as you'd expect.
It sucks that we're at this point in the MCU where Thor is probably the prime character to be able to inspire other new heroes, tell them what they need to know about all of this, what they can learn from him. But he's still going to be playing second fiddle to someone who's been Thor for what, a day?
A woman, no less.
He's I don't know, man. He's kind of emblematic of like millennials, isn't he? Because like he's basically stuck in a permanent stage of childhood where he hasn't grown up and assumed any. Well, yeah, he's not assumed any responsibilities, really. He doesn't know who he is. He's stuck in this fucking nihilistic existential crisis of what he wants to be and what he wants to do with his life. I don't know, man. Is that who they're trying to appeal to? Like, just people who fucking still live with their parents and they're 35 and they don't know what to do with themselves or what their life should be.
If you're at 35 and you're in that situation, it's over. That's what I tell my mother about my sister.
Hence the adult orphans line that I was referring to. People who only be an adult.
I thought that was a shot at Batman.
No, it was a shot at millennials still with their parents at 35 years old. Hey, sometimes that happens. I don't want to disrespect everybody. Sometimes you lose a job, but like for the most part, you want to be kind of moving in life. The fact is they called it Taika Waititi called it a Thor having a midlife crisis. Now I don't know, like
he's the god of thunder.
Yeah, he's thousands of years old.
That's what But the fact that the trailer opens with like he's running as a kid and growing up to teen, growing up to adult, I'm like, wait, this is not the time. Like we're well past all of that. Why are you even showing this? Thor 1 was when they did like childhood stuff and how he grew up.
And that was a decent arc for him in his first movie. Like in an otherwise shit film, it's like, okay, he's young and brash and arrogant and overconfident, and he needs to learn a bit of humility, and that's why he gets sent to Earth and stripped of his powers. Okay, good.
It lines up perfectly in terms of just like stories of his dad's exploits and victories. Encourages him to be like, I need to be strong. I need to just fucking wreck the ice giants if they do anything wrong. Like. And just look what happens, right? I remember that being a fun moment where he's just like, Father, you're here, let's destroy them together. And then Odin's just like, shut the fuck up, dude. He's like, what? Like, what's going on? Then you get probably the best part of the film where the three of them just getting incredibly emotional at each other as a result of all that. But you're right, yeah. I don't even know what the arc in the second movie was. I don't think anyone remembers that movie.
No, it's one of those weird ones. It's like Venom. I can't tell you a single fucking thing about the first Venom movie.
But had Endgame had balls and he was a vengeful god, and we found that over that 5 years he was just ruthless in his execution of Asgard being reestablished, even to the point where the world governments were like, you can't just take land, and he's like, are you going to stop me?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. And the Avengers have tolerated him because they feel bad about, you know, Asgardians got wiped out and that he's been helpful, blah 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 blah. You get him to join the fight in Endgame, but then his solo movie after this is we need to bring him back down to being a fucking good guy again. Like this movie could have been dark, it could have been serious.
Yeah, but that's the problem. That would mean giving him an edge,
Right.
giving him a bit of danger, a bit of grit and danger about him.
Sounds
Again, like that's
masculinity.
what, fuck Gundam. You were right. It's like, no, we can't have that in a male character. He can't be dangerous. He can't have his own agency.
He can't be strong.
He can't be intimidating and scary. He has to be just a funny
Do you remember
joke.
He might get young boys off of HRT, you bigots.
Remember Nobody? I think me and Drinker have seen it. I'm not sure if all four of us have seen it, but Nobody is basically a film with the opening is like this man who's slowly entered a life where he has no agency at all. Basically, everything's pre-planned, everything's boring, everything's repetitive, patterns and stuff. And then he fucking decides to make his own decisions, and it's very satisfying what he does. Let's have some of that, Marvel, shall we?
Right. So when I call things the MCU and I say it's Kevin Feige's invention, it is. So it's these restrictions. What it technically is restrictions that the writers put on themselves when writing males. Really has nothing to do with women. Women don't have any agency in Marvel films. They're plastic fucking characters that are acting like men. They're insufferable. They don't have any flaws. They have no personality. So that doesn't really mean you're writing a strong woman at all. And that's what, you know, for the superficial and the simpletons out there, that might be a strong woman, but that's not a strong woman like Kim Wexler in Better Call Saul. That's a strong woman. That's a good character. That's a well fleshed out character. Nothing like that happens in Marvel anymore. We had that before with Gamora and Nebula and Black Widow. Like the only time we saw her scared was with the Hulk.
Yeah.
We opened Avengers with her like taking on a bunch of guys, like not even breaking a sweat, but she is scared when she's with the Hulk. That doesn't mean she's weak. It just means the Hulk is fucking that badass. And they can't do that now because any masculinity is toxic masculinity.
Dude, if the Hulk from Avengers slammed down in front of them, roared at them, I'm imagining that the entire cast of the MCU's female characters right now would just go,
Yeah.
that's it. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, it's just it's
When
you have to operate in these rules, when you have to operate under constraints like this, what the hell? What kind of stories are you supposed to tell now?
You can't. I mean, that's why we're seeing so many cycles repeat, because there's so many restrictions on everything now.
Well, yeah. Here, good example, right? You know when we watched Moon Knight, right? We've all seen it. Or I think
I refuse to watch it.
Yeah, well, you're probably better off. But like Muller and Gary and I have seen it, right? You know how Steven works in the museum and he's got this fucking asshole boss who just treats him like a piece of shit and just like insults him at every possible opportunity, right? There's never any resolution to that. There's never any payback or anything. There's never a moment when he uses his powers to just like, you know, fuck with her a little bit or like just tell her to piss off or whatever. That's left. I guarantee you, right? If the genders were reversed there,
you would have died.
That guy would have got killed, or like she would have pinned him up against the wall and he would have pissed his pants or something. Like,
yes.
It would have to have a resolution, but because it's a guy, he can't ever get revenge. He can't ever get the score evened. He's never allowed to stand up for himself.
Violence
Again, it's just a tiny little example, but it's an interesting insight into how these writers think.
I would you're so fucking correct on this. I wouldn't be surprised if it were a guy manager and a girl protagonist that he would have been disemboweled and you'd see it all in shade, like the shadow version. We would see it like a one of the jackals do that to him, and then the protagonist would be like, "Well, I suppose he kind of had it coming." Yeah. Like or something like that. And we would all be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like
in normal times, there would have been a scene where like Jake Lockley comes out. That would have been a point where you hint towards him. Just for a sentence where he just scares the crap out of her just for a, you know, and then he flips right back to Steven and she shuts up after that.
No, we don't do creative stuff. Stop it.
No,
You said as well, more like it was. I think it was you who brought this up. There was an interesting kernel of a story there, where you had the main character starting to discover that he's got this split personality, and the Moon Knight is something that he can transform into, and he's just starting to figure out how it works and what the hell's actually going on. And then, boom! The strong female character shows up to tell him exactly what he needs to do, and basically save his ass and just cart him from place to place. And that's just the framework that they have to work in. Like, it's again, it didn't. Yes, you could have just left her out the story. Like, ultimately, it should have been his story about like discovering his own identity and the things that happened to him when he was younger, how he transformed into this person, how the Moon Knight came about, all that stuff. That would have been fine by itself. But you've got to shoehorn in that other character that's just as good, just as smart, just as capable, and gets just as much screen time as him, that totally doesn't need to be there.
Stephen, Mark, Khonshu, bad guys. That's all you needed.
Mm-hmm.
But they, she had to be popped in, and it got really fucking strange, especially to the part where she's just like, she's also a hero now, by the way. And you're like, what?
Well, the through line does largely go through her. I mean, there's two, but like you mix in with her father and, Mark being there with her father's death and being responsible for it, by the way. That's a hero origin story. And we got to see Mark's where he just, where was his redemption? Just he was responsible for somebody's death. A bad job went wrong. And then all the crime fighting he did in redemption was just done off screen, just completely off screen. And by the way, we got 6 minutes of actual Moon Knight, not counting Mr. Knight in a 6-episode series. So
it's such a waste because he's a cool looking character. Like visually looks fantastic.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Way too masculine of a concept to have, to do it kind of a noir style Batman. Plus we've got the cultural appropriation thing with the Egypt.
But to mirror the point that I made just there, when we got the She-Hulk show, there will not be an equivalent strong male character that has to balance out the female lead.
Oh, dude, she'll be sapping anything that's left of the Hulk in that show. Scaring him.
He is not going to be there to be her foil. Like, I guarantee he'll be in like 2 episodes at most.
He's a cheerleader.
Yeah. So it's just interesting. It's interesting how that particular door only swings one way all the time, But hey, look, on the plus side, we've got a new Predator movie coming. And it's going to be fantastic.
Thank God.
Oh, finally a female
Predator just like
we needed.
This is the thing. Well, did they not do this 15 years ago, giving us like a female lead in a Predator movie with?
No, there's a female Predator too.
True.
It's once again just trying to be like, let's see if this one works, and once this one fails, we'll go back to doing what's even next. Is it Alien? Alien will be next. I guess Jurassic World is next, then Predator, then it'll be Alien, then we go back to Terminator again. Presumably they'll make another Terminator film eventually and try again.
Oh God, I hope not.
It's just like it's like a carousel with all our franchises on it and just like spinning it around.
Those 4 in particular, for some reason, I feel like they're all almost the only thing that separates the Jurassic stuff from the other 3 is how successful those movies are. They make a shit ton of money, but they're all just as shit, and they're all like just as insulting to their originals.
They're all constrained by the same problem, in that all you can really do is just keep replicating the same story over and over again. With Jurassic Park, what can you do? Like, we've got dinosaurs, they're cool. Oh no, they've escaped. Who could have predicted this?
That's it. That's all they got. I'm afraid Jurassic Park was one and done. If you watch that story, it's complete. It has a point to make. It makes it. It's done. But people like dinosaurs, so we have to do more. What do? They escape.
That's why we ended up with those Rambo movies.
Terminator is essentially the same thing.
Alien E2 was just a bigger, better, slicker version of the first movie.
Well,
it was fantastic, but it was the same basic story.
That's the funny thing about these, both Alien and Terminator's franchises. You kind of have one and done films, but then James Cameron comes in and makes a bag of sequel for both of them, and you're like, well, all right, fine, we'll take another. And I don't mean to shit on Predator 2 by not mentioning it but I don't think Predator 2 is as good as T2 or Aliens.
No, it doesn't.
It's
it
not,
doesn't.
but it's still the best of the Predator sequels.
Absolutely, it's the best one we got, but they just keep on going.
This is and
this is the dumbest.
I thought we'd hit. Yeah, I thought we'd hit rock bottom with the Predator, but apparently not.
Oh, there's more.
You're telling me the last Predator movie didn't move you guys?
I mean, the bit where where the guy fires a bolt gun into like the Predator dog's head and makes it a retarded loyal Predator dog that just wants to help humans. That was probably the highlight for me.
Oh my god, I didn't see that.
Or when the villain like fires a plasma caster into his own head and kind of vaporizes himself like that.
That's one of the best things that's ever happened in a film. It's so funny. And it's so unintentionally funny because they were just like, there he goes, the villain is out of the film, and you're like, oh,
how do we stop the villain? He kills himself.
Oh,
the thing I'll never understand about that film is like the first Predator movie kind of established that the Predator's main strength is its ability to go invisible. Makes sense, it's camouflaged.
Camo, yeah.
But you can still shoot it and you can damage it. Like if you fire a machine gun at it, you can hit it and wound it, like what Mac does during the first sort of battle with it. So it's not invincible. But then when you get to that movie, suddenly it's just like fighting a boss in Dark Souls or something. You've just got to wear down its energy bar because they're standing there shooting at it, firing grenades at it and stuff, and just nothing's happening. I don't get it. Are they bulletproof now or what?
They were like, yeah, they gave it bulletproof skin and didn't have it doing its camo. And it's just like, why do you think that's more interesting? But it's a Terminator now. Nice. Do you have any idea what franchise this is?
No.
Autism Hunters. That's where they lost me. Okay.
Yep. That's but they actually did one worse. So much worse. It's on Hulu now. It's not even going in theaters.
Yeah,
there's no way this new Predator could be worse than the last one.
I was gonna say that's gonna be tough to beat.
Like you'd have to deliberately be bad.
Autism Hunters, Gary. Come on.
How is the Stone Age culture going to beat a Predator?
Well, it's not Stone Age.
No, I'll give. Yeah, it's like they've got Iron Age.
They're not
like
okay. Wait. It's in the Iron Age, but they are Stone Age culture. They don't have iron. They aren't making any iron or anything. They're still hunting with wood and stone.
Yeah. So there's ways to do this, I suppose. In the
we saw this before. Like we feel like a Predator probably shouldn't take the plasma caster if it's going to fight a civilization that best has a bow and arrow. Like when you're fighting Arnie and his men with all those guns, I feel like the plasma caster's fair.
So,
when it fights Billy.
Like what time in America is this? By the way, do we know if it's
that's
in
the question?
1800s or before?
It's gonna, you just know it's gonna be the 1800s,
16 or 1700s. Because the Native Americans are still running around free around the 1700s and 1600s.
Do you think that's going to be the payoff at the end as a Predator? Like
they could kill some white settlers?
Comes to see all of this and turns around. It's like, you guys ever see Apocalypto?
No.
Yes.
So the ending of that, where it's like, oh shit, here comes the white man.
I tell you, no, Mahler, I tell you what's going to happen, right? It's going to be battling these Native Americans throughout the movie, right? And then a bunch of cavalrymen are going to show up or like white invaders, and the Predator is going to wait. It's going to stop and it's going to go, wait, these are the real enemy.
These are the real
and it's going to join forces with the strong female protagonist, and they are going to defeat the white invaders.
Oh, you might be right. That's what I was asking.
I'm telling you, man. I'm just calling it.
It also depends. Then they would have guns at that point. They would have guns, but until the white man showed up, they were shooting little stone arrows at each other, and spears, for thousands of years. So,
the Predator's technology,
unless the Predator gets left behind without a ship or anything, and he's just kind of walking around going.
Well, there's a fan movie I watched called Predator: Dark Ages, right, where it's set in like the Middle Ages, and it's like Crusaders fighting the Predator, and it kind of tailors its weapons based on who it's up against. Like one guy, basically a knight in full armor, challenges it to a battle, and it just goes at it hand to hand because it wouldn't be fair otherwise. So there's
Well,
potentially
this Predator's
that.
still using the shoulder cannon.
Yeah, the trailer suggests that. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
going to be blasting people apart. So
Well,
I don't really know.
This is one of the 10,000 things on the list of what makes Predator cool that they never seem to understand. The fact that this is a movie monster that wants to fight for sport is one of the coolest fucking ideas ever. And for some reason, they just don't seem to give a shit.
That's also what bothers me. It has a shoulder cannon. Wouldn't their technology be a little less advanced back then? Just slightly?
Maybe.
You telling
Not
me
gonna
they
do
haven't
anything
made any
interesting,
strides
Gundam,
since
stop.
the 17 fucking hundreds?
Remember, the synopsis for this one is a young, you don't say squaw, but I'm just going to say squaw to piss people
You can
off.
say squaw around me. I don't care.
A young squaw is battling against gender norms in her tribe. And
What?
The true enemy, Gary. The true enemy.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am dead serious. That
I
was
just
the first
can't
synopsis.
stand this shit no more.
Fighting gender norms and the predator. So
Christ
obviously,
almighty.
the predator.
Well, because that's the thing, man.
gonna
If
team
we
up
if we got commissioned to actually create a Predator storyline and it regards him going after a bunch of cavemen, I'd be like, all right, this could be fun. We can find a way. We'll have to make it a really big tribe. We'll have to make the Predator interested in taking out all of them, but the Predator doesn't want to use basically any tools outside of maybe a club. Like, we can make this fun too. You can maybe make it a bit tongue-in-cheek, bit aware, but also, let's try and keep the spirit aware as well. Maybe even try to fuck with the genre as the movie progresses, like the first movie does. Just it's like, it's time to create, everybody. Get your brains spilling out on this page. We've got to figure out what we can do about it. Instead of just going, okay, so
it's a Native American woman taking on gender norms.
I
Because she wants to die hunting in the fucking winter because she's not allowed to start a fire while going after caribou or some shit.
Yep. And she wants to be chief.
Really?
Okay. Okay.
So it's gonna.
She doesn't want to be the shirt wearer. She goes right to chief.
So it's gonna culminate in like she defeats the predator, right? Or they fought.
Probably.
They come to an honorable truce or something like that, and she returns victorious to her tribe. And the chieftain is like, "You are better qualified to lead. I step aside."
You guys said it was a girl predator as well, right?
Now women can die hunting.
Yeah.
Is this true? I don't know if it's
because if it's a girl predator, I would actually expect them
I'm
to
pretty
team
sure
up
it's a
at this
girl
point,
predator.
Yeah.
I want to see those giant predator boobs.
I'm assuming they will. How does anyone know it's a girl predator if
some of
looks
the
like a predator?
trailer crap shows a female
there's
predator?
so many ways I can think of right now, but I won't say.
It has a little pink bow in its dreadlocks. I assume they would team up by the end of the movie if it's a girl predator. That would be my guess as well.
It's on Hulu, so all bets are off. Like this.
Yeah, wait. Here we go. Like other male predators show up to try and boss the female predator around, like they bully her, and then she
kills him in the beginning.
She kills him.
No. And she's like, "Wait, you and I are the same. We're both getting oppressed by our culture."
That's probably going to be we have a very deep theme in this film about acceptance and othering and stuff like that or whatever. I don't know.
We're taking the piss here, but I swear this is going to happen.
Are you guys going to watch this thing when it comes out?
What is
othering? I think I have to.
Yes.
Because is it releasing? It's not. You said it's not in theaters at all.
Not in theaters at all. Here, it's on Hulu.
In that case, we should make a date for this, and we'll watch it together on EFAT Movies. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we need to do this. It's going to break our brains. I know it.
We'll get Az in as well because he likes Predator.
Yep.
We got to grab people who like the originals so that
this just it makes me so sad because I was just on a stream the other night where we were talking about the original and it's like going through it kind of play by play. I just kept thinking, God damn, this was such a well put together movie. It was so well paced. It was so well written. It was so entertaining. The cast was great. The action scenes were great. I loved it.
I'm happy
it was
to say
so fun.
It's one of the best. One of the best movies we got.
It's very masculine.
It's Hulu for us and here in the US, and it's Star Plus in Latin America, whatever that is. I think that's
it's Pirate Bay in the UK.
And it's Star Original on D Plus in Europe on August 5th.
Okay.
Save the day.
Set your watches, gentlemen.
Oh yeah, set your excitement.
I can't wait to be depressed.
Come on, mocking this stuff is fun. It brings me joy. It really does. If it's going to be that stupid, why not just laugh at it?
Do you think there's, at this point, is there any way that they could save this franchise?
Yes.
Could they do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You hire people that aren't retarded. It's so simple. It's
But
so
after
easy.
so many fuck ups, like, is there really a point where they could release a good movie and people would still get behind it?
Yes.
So when you say will people still get behind it, like we just had Doctor Strange is crossing 1 billion soon enough. The people will support it if you hit enough of the normal things. But if you're talking about people like us, it's like, will we ever become like people to say the Predator series is doing great? It's like you need several bangers in a row. Like you have to,
And it would
you
have
got
to
to earn that respect back. You got to earn that faith back.
Yes, you would have to have a plan, like a legit plan of like you've got this alien who hunts for sport, and then like where do you take it from there? Because you like okay, you can get like Henry Cavill, the guy from Reacher, Tom Hardy, and some other muscle bound dudes against the Predator. Probably do pretty well. It's a pretty fucking simple formula. But then after that, what do you do? It's going to be a point where like maybe you take the fight to them or something. I don't know. You can't just like. They keep
taking the
here.
fight
It's
to
like,
them with
fuck this. We're tired of it. We're tired of these asshole predators coming to our planet and hunting.
You gotta like go look into all the third party shit relating to this IP. Go look at what the fans love. Go look at all the comics and like the games, all the extra shit. Go look at all of it. See what you can dig up as to what the favorite stories are that aren't turning them into autism hunters, for fuck's sake.
Well, see, if I had my dream kind of combination of elements, it would be something like the Colonial Marines from Aliens versus the Predator, like going to their home world or something, directed by James Cameron from the 1980s. Like, I think that version would have crushed it.
Take all my money. The Prey is actually, I mean, Dark Horse did a comic version. They've done a comic version of everything versus Predator, by the way. Superman, like freaking everybody versus Predator. So they've done something where Native Americans took on predators before. So it was done in the comic books. Probably
where this idea comes from, honestly.
Yeah. But you're not wrong, Mahler. Just go to the Dark Horse comics. There's some really good ones.
You know what? If we found out the new guy writing, directing this thing is a huge fan of all the extra content, and he even comes out and says, you know what? The Predator? Not a fan. We'd be like, and then it's like, I'm working really hard with all. We want to bring Predator back to its glorious days, and then they bring out a really good film. Or that would do wonders for us lot. I think we'd be like, oh shit! All right, this guy, okay. Okay.
Predator versus Jurassic Park, like the two greatest hunters of their eras versus each other. There you go.
What do you mean? Like
so like raptors versus predators. Or no, what's that thing? The stupid dinosaur that goes invisible, the Indominus Rex.
Indominus Rex.
See, that's like the Predator, you see, because it can go invisible and disappear from thermals. We know it can make itself go cold. So there you go. It could outsmart the Predator. I think it can. I think it can work. There you go.
We've got a hit here.
Yeah.
An intern is furiously scribbling this down.
Yep.
Alien versus Predator. That would be a great idea, right? Let's get Paul W.S. Anderson to make that movie.
He's a guy you can trust to make a good film.
What's funny is AVP is probably better than The Predator and AVP 2. So that's where we're at.
You're putting me in a position where I almost have to like praise it, but I don't want to do that.
Nobody wants to do that during
I think it made me so sad when I compared it to things like Aliens or the first Predator, and I was like, no, this is just so far below.
How they've dropped the ball on Alien versus Predator, I'll still never know.
That's such an easy one to make people enjoy, and yet, yeah. Why did you give it to him? Of all the people,
it's like, yeah, this guy who just did Resident Evil. Yeah, he's the one we need.
God. That explains it.
He's a special man, but he's made a lot of money out of the Resident Evil movies. Basically, he's kept his career going for the past 20 years.
Yes, off of making garbage movies with his wife.
Yeah,
they're still going.
God,
hey, Three Musketeers is a fucking great movie, Gundam. Okay.
We did have fun watching it.
It's true.
But yeah, Gary, I was going to ask you, because you're kind of our resident Doctor Who expert.
Ugh.
We now have a new
Ugh.
Doctor Who. Are you excited?
Are you ready, buddy?
My excitement. I mean, there wasn't a lot of excitement, but I was like, I'm willing to give this a chance, and I did the live stream, and within 20 minutes, I was like, no, this is dead. This is fucking dead, deader than dead. Russell T Davies came back and just put the knife in everybody's back. It's gonna be as woke or more woke, worse than Jodie's. The 60th anniversary is ruined. It's Dr. Tu Wong Hu now. Yeah, good luck with it. I just wish him all the luck in the world. They're bringing Tennant back, and it looks like he's either going to be the Metacrisis Doctor or a different Doctor altogether. Got a different Sonic, a different look. He's with Donna. That's great. I'm not excited at all. I'm done. I'm gonna probably watch Jodie kick it and then just be done. It's
you watch the 60th though, right? Or...
I'll watch the 60th with holding my nose.
Yeah,
because like it's just nostalgia bait. They're bringing Tennant back, and instead of like having a multi-Doctor adventure, it's just bringing him back to introduce this new Doctor. And yeah, it was. I shouldn't be surprised. I don't think any of us should be surprised. I think a lot of Doctor Who fans got their hopes up when they heard Russell T Davies, but he is full on activist, wants to help the BBC, totally against the removal of the license fee, which is just, I mean, as an American, I can't fathom that at all. But, it's ridiculous. But you guys are going to get rid of it in 2027. And on his first interview, he comes out and goes, vote against everybody who's against removing the license fee. Vote against all the conservatives. That was his first effing interview. And when our new Doctor, Shooty, his name is Shooty, said he's going to be the fabulous Doctor, and I don't doubt that at all. I don't doubt that for 1 second. But I don't think this was the move to get the general populace back. To get, I don't know how it's going to play out in the UK. It seems like it's kind of gone over like a lead balloon. But I can tell you right now, nobody gives a shit here. Nobody gives a crap here. So as far as licensing, getting your fans back, I wish I could give you better news. I really do. This one is deader than dead.
Most excitement I've seen related to Doctor Who in the past few even years is people sharing screenshots of David Tennant on set. They're just going nuts over that. And it's like, what does that tell you?
Yeah, they just announced a new Doctor, and they're just sharing pictures of David Tennant. Yep. So there you go. And that's a year and a half away. So it's a year and a half away. We still got one more Jodie thing, which, I mean, nobody's talking about at all. And by the time it shows up, 60 is going to probably have a good ratings, and then it'll go down to Jodie level, I think, immediately. I think it'll within 6 episodes. We'll say, I'll be generous and say 6 episodes. It'll be just so. So much for Bad Wolf coming in and fixing everything.
I think Jodie's final episode will actually get like record ratings because everyone's just so keen to see her Doctor die. Like, if nothing else, they'll just tune in to see that.
I will. That'll be fun. I don't know. When RTD, his era that I love, I think it's historic era of television. But if you go back and you read his book about that era, and you go back and watch Doctor Who Confidential about that era, there was a guy who was very instrumental in it named Stephen Moffat. Like, those two guys together balanced each other perfectly. And of course, in that time, they had restrictions that made the show a lot. I mean, maybe those restrictions that maybe frustrated them ended up making that good product in some cases. Who knows? Maybe.
I think because just to bolster that, I think my favorite episode of Doctor Who is as a result of a restriction, right? Isn't Midnight? It only exists because they needed an episode to fill the season.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's done under, time limits. It's crazy how some creatives are better under time limits than being free. That's just a reality sometimes.
Yeah. You get like Turn Left, you get Midnight when you have, when Tennant has to go film the two-parter. So you got to focus it on the companion or Midnight, which is a bottle episode. One of the best bottle episodes ever.
It's just one of my favorite TV episodes ever.
Dude, it's so good. That Dalek. So good. But now we're not going to get that. I wish we would, but Russell T Davies said it himself. He said, I have more things. He didn't say I have more stories to tell. He said, I quote, I have more things to say.
Yeah. More messages to get across.
God dang it. So yeah, it was a bummer. It was a bummer. I think it was a bummer for a lot of fans. So if you're holding out hope out there, good for you. I mean, that's good. I'm not here to dash that, but I'm not going to waste my time on hoping that this is not going to be just a giant woke disaster. And
You won't be checking out episode 1 then.
After the special, I really, if you ask me now, no. I'll see.
This could be it. You could be done with watching Doctor Who now.
Yep.
Or new Doctor Who at least.
Yep.
I think you've reached the point that I'm at with Star Trek, where I just have checked out. I just said no, not doing it anymore. I can't be bothered. I'm tired of it. I just it doesn't even stir any interest in me. I've moved past that, and I just think, I just don't care anymore.
Have you guys got a limit on that for Marvel?
Yeah, I think there's a limit on everything, Mahler. I mean, I don't know what the number is. It's just when, like, okay, I said what I had to say. They didn't listen. And whatever I have to say will start sounding repetitive if we just keep going through the motions. And I think if you find something new and different to say something that can either change, or for one, I want to find something good. That's what I want. Okay. But I think the bigger story, quite frankly, is Lord of the Rings. I think that's a much bigger story. I think it's a much different fandom. And I think that's something that could make some change. The Star Wars fandom lost. They lost. Star Trek fandom lost. Doctor Who lost. Marvel, we're losing. Like it's going to be a loss. It's probably going to be a loss, and it sucks. In 2 years, this thing is probably going to turn around. Doctor Who's going to look terrible. I mean, they're making that show on 2018-19 ideals. We don't even exist in that world anymore. We live in a different reality than we did 2 years ago. And people are fed up with a lot of things. And this just hasn't reached people like Russell T Davies and the BBC and the bankers who are running everything right now. That's why they're still, I said it's going to get worse before it gets better. These next 2 years are going to be the worst shit you've ever seen. And then it maybe changes after that. But it needs to fall flat on its face. We can't be just like, oh, we had a big dip second weekend. No, it's got to flop. Eternals flopped. That's good. That's a good thing. We need more Eternals. I think Marvels will flop. I do think that will flop unless they put Galactus in it or some crazy, or introduce the Fantastic Four. But if
Silver
it's just
Surfer, maybe.
I think the Fantastic Four is in the works.
Oh, they're
they'll be doing that. That's Phase 5, though, isn't it? I mean, like Phase 4, they're kind of just like taking things over. Really, like it's almost like they're just trying to fill the space until they can get to Phase 5.
Phase 4 feels like the ultimate sort of like we're between shows right now. Here's a clown dancing. You're like, what? Yeah.
But to answer your question, Muller, like when will I reach that phase or that stage with Marvel? Like I've already reached it, more or less. Like I'm more like look at it as just an interesting like fucking dissection of how like a great franchise can fall apart. When I see movies like Eternals or Black Widow, like I'm not feeling pissed off about them. I'm not feeling mad. I'm just like, just look at that. That's what they're making now. Let's point and laugh and break it down for why it's not working.
Like with Star Trek, you've got this level of apathy. I was just curious, do you think you're ever going to hit that with Marvel, where you're just like, I can't be fucked to see the newest Marvel thing?
I'm already there.
I know you are.
I mean, I'm pretty close. Like, if I wasn't doing this to review movies, I probably wouldn't bother. And I know people honest. Like one of my good friends, right? Who's fucking like he will just love anything that Marvel put out normally. It just doesn't care to analyze it too much. It's just like, bright colors. Even he's just like, I'm feeling a bit tapped out with Marvel movies now. I just don't really care that much about them anymore.
You can sense when the apathy comes in with the fandom. Like it's there for Star Wars. Star Wars is just this mighty juggernaut, that can survive as a zombie for a while, but you can feel it. Like this giant Vanity Fair article comes out with Kathleen Kennedy, and nobody could give a fuck about it. Like it's crazy. You see, there's always going to be the hardcores. They're always going to be there. The biggest difference is the hardcores used to be the people who carried your franchises through the dark times. And now that they've alienated so many of the hardcores, and now you're relying on the consumer who is fickle as hell and will be gone, believe me, once they don't feel any FOMO with Star Wars. And that's starting to happen. It's going to take a while to erode, but like it's done. That's what they can't move on from the Skywalker saga. Good luck with that. They had every chance in the world and they didn't do it. It's already like there is no excitement for Star Trek, and there hasn't been for a long time. It's an old franchise. If you go to a convention, it looks like a freaking a retirement convention. Yeah, it's just freaking old for old farts like me. Star Wars lost a generation. Comic books lost a generation. Doctor Who was the one exception that had like it scooped up a young generation and then fucked it off immediately here in the States. So yeah, you can feel when the apathy comes in. It's different for everything, but like Lord of the Rings is something that everybody loves, and it's a well-read fandom. And I think no matter what side of the aisle you're on, it's kind of your happy place. And to see that fucked with is gonna like wake up a lot, and it has waked up a lot of new people. And you could just see it. Like when I go after Marvel, I still get a certain percentage of dislikes on my videos. Like it's pretty even. Like I get, with Lord of the Rings stuff, I get barely any. Like it's crazy. I'll have like 42,000 likes to like 100 dislikes. It's like nuts. So it's a total different thing. And I think most people see it as kind of this pure innocent thing that's being fucked with. And they don't see the other properties like that. So
I think you're absolutely right that Lord of the Rings hasn't been tainted yet. So it's like, get the fuck away. We don't trust you at all. Star Wars, Star Trek, the rest of them, Doctor Who is like, oh well, they've been in the dregs for a while. So what's another one to be thrown on the pile? But Lord of the Rings, it hasn't started yet.
I love how this is it. This is our hill that we're all going to die on. Like Lord of the Rings, it's like this far and no fucking further.
It does feel suitable, right? Lord of the Rings is fucking legendary, and has been for so long. It gets referenced every single time, like any of great film franchises come up, or just how to execute grand epic stories. It's like it's always there. It never died. Those films are just fantastic. Obviously, the source material too, and yeah, you have something like because like I know I'm getting more apathetic with Marvel. It's like I kept saying I'll watch Hawkeye. I'll get around to it. It's gonna happen. And then I'm just like, well, there's no point in seeing it now, is there? It's like it's this all over. And like when they release Harkness, Echo, and fucking whatever else they throw out, I'm just be like, I just summarize it to me. But like if I'm being completely honest, I think that if I wasn't doing any of this to talk to people about these things, then Guardians 3 I'd probably watch. Can't say I'd watch much of anything else. Spider-Man.
Yeah, I wouldn't have watched The Eternals. I wouldn't have watched Shang-Chi.
I didn't watch The Eternals.
Well, yeah, there you go. But I mean, I watched it because I knew I was going to review it. But if it wasn't that motivation there, I wouldn't have bothered with it. I don't think.
Same here.
And I think there's more and more movies and shows like that. I've never watched Hawkeye. Probably won't. And I've heard it's like the least bad out of the Marvel TV shows. I just don't give a fuck about watching it.
I think the first one I'm skipping, and it's just because I don't want to like review a little teeny bopper show and like
I know
on a little girl as Miss Marvel.
Yeah, I might give that a miss.
It's gonna be absolute trash, but like I don't know.
You know what you said, Gary, though, about like it's the hardcore fans that carry franchises through like the dry spells or the dark times. Like with Star Wars, you had the original trilogy, and then like basically for 15-20 years you had basically nothing until the new movies came out, the prequels came out. I mean, I know you had like books, video games, that kind of thing, but like nothing really for general audiences. I think it's almost like Disney know that now that they've lost those hardcore fans that are going to keep a franchise alive while new movies are getting made. And so that's why you're getting all these just disposable TV shows, just stuff that keeps people ticking over, like general audiences. Like, okay, you get through Mandalorian. Okay, a few months later, you'll have Book of Boba Fett. You get through that. Okay, you've got fucking Cassian Andor, or like Rangers of the New Republic, or the next season of Mando, or whatever crap that they throw out. Or Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's always going to be just another thing coming along, just to keep you there, just to keep those general audiences interested. And that they know they have to do that now, because if they leave it for a year or two, there's nothing. Everyone's drifted away then.
Yeah, you're right. I just read an article from the Wrap yesterday where they basically said that Disney can no longer rely on Marvel and Star Wars to get subscribers for their streaming service. I couldn't believe that headline. I went, wow. I mean, that's right. We all knew that, but now like people like the Access Media is finally, coming around like the dinosaurs they are. And they brought out some charts, and some of the charts are like everything is tailing off, at the end, like they'll get a pretty good viewership, decent viewership, not great. And this is based on Parrot Analytics. So it's not all viewership. It's people talking on and using hashtags and stuff. So it's not the most accurate. I think the numbers are way lower, in other words. And they dip off dramatically after 2 weeks. Like people just stop watching the show. That's not what they make these shows for. These shows are for people to watch them all the time. They need to be going back and repeat viewing. Disney's, doesn't have enough for the repeat viewing. A lot of the stuff they had been out there forever. They don't have like really good sitcoms. Maybe they do at Hulu, but I'm just talking about Disney Plus right now. So it's bad. It's really bad. And like they've got nowhere to go with Star Wars, like nowhere to go.
What we're just mentioning is a real thing. The whole like the hardcore fans, like Lord of the Rings has technically been in a dry spell for some time. It's never felt that way because it's just alive and well in all of our hearts. Fucking great content. But you need, as you said, those fans. Like when Mandalorian season 2 finale aired, everyone was over the fucking moon. They were like, that was incredible, amazing. Gosh, Luke Skywalker, blah blah blah. It's like, how many months did it take before everyone would just be like, so anyway?
I don't think it was 2 months when they fired Dina Carano. So that was like a month and a half.
And like, how many people are going to reference that going forward as being one of the greatest things that happened in storytelling? It's like, not many, I don't think. I think once enough time passes, people will just be like, well, I mean, it was a CGI Luke who turned up,
On the plus side, they get a YouTuber a job.
It's the fundamental of like an epic story is that it has a definitive ending. It begins, you've got your action, and then eventually it comes to an end. That's your epic story. That's what they did with Lord of the Rings. That's why the Peter Jackson trilogy was so fantastic, because it's like it had an excellent beginning. You were invested all the way through, and it came to a excellent, fantastic, poignant ending. Probably about 10 endings in reality, but fine.
A beautiful and necessary 10 endings.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I loved it. I loved every minute. But that was it, and it was done, and that was your epic story right there. But like when you've got things like the MCU or Star Wars now, it's episodic. It's just episodic TV shows. It's a soap opera with a big budget.
Yeah,
that's what you've got now. That's not an epic story. That's just a recycling and a rehashing of the same ideas in different formats, again and again. That's what you've got now.
Milking. That's the problem.
Yes.
Yeah, but now they're trying to apply that soap opera formula with loads of money to Lord of the Rings. They're trying to make that into like your trashy, just ongoing series that continues and continues and continues.
Oh,
they made a whore out of so many IPs, and they're trying to do it to Lord of the Rings. We're like, stop it, get away from it.
Have you no soul, no shame?
What they're doing to Lord of the Rings is just tip of the iceberg. What I told you in my last video, tip of the fucking iceberg. Trust me. But, if you guys, just in case you didn't watch it, it's Galadriel gets fucking bullied in the beginning and the first episode.
I watched your video.
I watched the video as well. Yeah. That's gonna be
great. The episodes are out?
No, but Gary knows a few things.
I got a screener.
No, I got a description of something. So
in this show, Galadriel faces her greatest enemy of all, the patriarchy.
Oh my God! How will she survive?
Exciting. But yeah, Gary, I think you're totally on point about the whole like how far behind they are in terms of the content we see on the screen versus the conversation that's happening, and that's another reason why seeing change is going to take so fucking long.
2
no
years,
matter how we slice it, sort of thing.
2 years minimum.
Is it just because there's projects in play right now and you can't just like shit can them? They all have to.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's the same logic
They have
because
to
like
work
this is why I think he's completely right on this. So like, if right now there's a writer out there who listened to all of us and was like, I gotta get a project made that's more satisfying to these ideals, he like begins the process, writing,
Yeah.
then redrafting, then getting someone to pick it up, then get blah 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 blah. People cancellation picked it up, and then get the right people, get the production dates, blah blah blah. By the time it gets on the screen, we're all talking about Jesus Christ. You see Avengers 7? It was so bad. Like, and then he's
My
like,
problem, yeah, my problem with all this though is that this isn't a new concept. These failures and these fan backlashes have been happening since
yeah,
I don't know 2016, like Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
if not before. Okay, it's not a new thing. So like this must have begun to filter through to them by now, and they must have had time to readjust. You would think they would have done by now, but they seem like they haven't.
I mean, I've always assumed that part of this problem is that they are milking franchises that make the money, and then they mistakenly believe it's because of crazy new writing ideas, not the fact that it's just the franchise dying that they're taking advantage of. Like, you know, when they're like, oh, Rise of Skywalker, 1.5 billion or whatever the fuck it made, it's just like, well, yeah, it's Star Wars. And then they're like, well, how'd you explain Solo? It's like, there's many ways to explain why that thing didn't make money, or at least make the money back that it cost.
What did Kathleen Kennedy think it was? Did you
I think
hear?
it was Alden Ehrenreich's fault, obviously. Like, which is incredible. Because she says like recasting is the problem. We have to bring back the original actors. It's like, yes, one of the most famous and popular people in the Star Wars IP right now is fucking Ewan McGregor, a recast of a very popular character. Like, what? Why would you assume that is the reason, unless you're just forced to say that to avoid acknowledging the reality of why all of the films have failed for you?
Exactly.
I think was it Midnight's Edge that did this, and they said that there's always a I don't know what word they used to describe it, but essentially, if one movie's absolutely shit, it'll taint the following film.
Mhm.
And so what you had was The Last Jedi,
Mhm.
and then the movie that came out immediately after that was Solo. And like there was such a fan backlash against The Last Jedi, and people were so pissed off. They just said, "Fuck it, I don't care how good this film is. I've got no interest in watching it."
Yeah, that's what. So that would be one of the arguments I was using back in the day for people saying TLJ made money. It's like TLJ made TFA money. It made it off the back of TFA. Rise of Skywalker made less than it could have because it was on the back of TLJ and Solo. Solo fucked up completely because it was right after TLJ. It's like, don't you think that makes more sense than going, oh no, the money it makes it sell? Like Captain Marvel. Do you really think it was Captain Marvel's fault that Captain Marvel made that money? No. Nobody believes that. It got all of its money from being between Infinity War and Endgame. Everyone knows that.
Yep. Doctor Strange 2 did very well because of No Way Home.
I would love to see the original Captain Marvel too.
Well, like what they originally conceived it
reshot
as.
so much. Yes, they reshot so much. I want to see the original version just to see what a mess it was.
It probably was a huge mess, but
it
they
had to be crazy.
Now.
Does anyone think about how long it's been since the first Captain Marvel? Like, I can barely remember it now. What was it, 2019? That came out.
2019, yeah.
And it's not going to be until next year that Captain Marvel 2 comes out?
And it's going to be bad because
so
they don't know
that's
how
a
to
that's a 4-year gap between movies.
After $1 billion film.
Because they're probably aware that it wasn't her or the story of Captain Marvel that made that money. It wasn't. They know that.
Yeah, with the way they cut her out of Endgame.
Yeah, they know. It's so fucking obvious they know, but they wouldn't want to say that because that's really embarrassing. Just like in reverse, they will say Alden Ehrenreich is to blame for the Solo. It's like, no, he's not.
Yeah.
No. Han Solo. I mean, like it was an MCU film. Han Solo was an MCU film. He got like cucked in his own damn movie. Like it's not just Marvel that's doing it. It is a Disney thing, and it's been going on for a long time. Hell, Fury Road. I'd say Fury Road is like one of the patient zeros of this whole mess, and even Logan. Like people love those movies, but those are precursors to what we're going through right now.
I was just thinking how there should be another Fury Road. Like, why hasn't it happened?
Furioso. They're
Oh
making
yeah,
a
it's on the way, right? Furiosa.
Furioso movie.
Like, what? Furiosa? What?
I could care
Do
less.
you don't know about this? Furiosa's getting her own movie, right? Or is it a TV show?
Oh, that's not.
And it
What
was
I
it
was
Charlize
looking for.
Theron that's going to be doing it again.
I could have sworn. Am I making this up? I could have sworn that was the thing that was happening, right?
Oh no, it's
Ah.
happening. George Miller's
Find out.
got a trailer coming out Friday for 3,000 Years of Longing. It looked kind of trippy, to be honest with you. It's
It
got
did,
Idris
yeah.
Elba in it.
Right, yeah. So Furiosa is coming out in 2024, so it's a while off.
And George Miller's like not young.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
yeah,
old when he did Fury
Yeah.
Road.
Yeah.
He's got to be pushing. Wait, yeah, he was 70 when he did Fury Road. That was in 2015. Yeah.
All right,
wow.
so yeah, Furiosa is going to be a prequel as well. I think it's got Anya Taylor-Joy in it.
Why not? I guess.
One
Yeah.
from Northman.
She's all the rage right now for just being in things.
She looks like a bit of a fucking alien that's wearing a human skin suit, but I'm into it
I'm
at the
totally
same
into
time.
that.
I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah,
She's-
depending on who you talk to, she's the most gorgeous woman in existence, or she's bug-eyed and crazy.
I think she teeters right on the brink. You know, there's that fine line where it's like you're almost too, like your face is almost too beautiful or too symmetrical or whatever you might want to call it, and it tips over the edge into like the uncanny valley. And now, I just think you're an
That's
alien.
where I live every
It's just
day.
so weird. I'm pretty sure.
You're too beautiful, Gundam.
Didn't she get her start in Split, the M. Night Shyamalan film?
I think so.
Like that's the first thing I remember finding out that she was even in, and it's like I think it was the Queen's Gambit now that's just skyrocketed her. She's everyone wants her in their movies now.
Yeah. No, I liked her in the Queen's Gambit. Actually, I thought that was a pretty good series.
There's also Witch as well. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Witch is awesome. I like Witch. I thought it was.
Yeah, I'm looking at chat as well. There's a lot of like the consensus is that she's actually an alien.
Lizard people
A
confirmed.
hot alien. Okay, I have no problem with that. Still,
Gary's
what's
like
the witch?
paint her green.
not a bigot.
Yeah, if the Witch was before Split, then yeah, I guess that was. I wasn't saying it was her first movie. I was saying which movie was the one that made people like notice her. I'm not sure which one it was.
Yes, the very bad New Mutants film.
I was gonna say, yeah, she couldn't save New Mutants. Yeah,
Wasn't Arya in that as well?
she was. Yeah, she was
Yeah,
playing a
yeah.
Scottish girl
Yes.
with a braw Scottish accent.
Hey, the new
that-
Doctor's Scottish drinker.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, he went to school near me, so that's pretty cool.
Well,
I
hold
don't
on.
think
Is
he's
New
born.
Mutants like a Marvel movie or something?
In Scotland, though.
Gosh, Gundam, you're so out of the loop, man.
I told you I walked away from like Marvel movies. They actually made a movie of this.
They made
No,
a movie
this
about
is-
you leaving Marvel movies.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
New Mutants, like by all accounts, should have been just shelved and never seen the light of day. But they
It was basically like the last of the Fox X-Men movies where they were like experimenting with like, oh, what if we went down the horror road or something and did something a little bit different. And
I don't know how they can't make a good X-Men movie.
well, they've shown you
Hey,
plenty of
X2.
examples of how not to do it.
Everyone loves X2. Come on, man.
Yeah,
I like it.
X-
Days of
X2.
Future Past I liked.
Future Past. I do. I think it's fun.
Did you
yeah,
like the Wolverine? Because
no.
I'm so
No.
split on that fucking movie.
I thought
First
it was
three
dumb.
quarters of it I liked. I didn't. The ending just went south.
Yeah.
To be fair, the Fox X-Men movies are complicated for me because I enjoy pretty much all of them. Whether or not they're good, though, is a different thing.
Yeah.
I think one of the films I've laughed the most at in the cinema was Apocalypse. And it's like, that's not a comedy. It's like, I know. It's really funny, though. Like, it's dumb.
So dumb, but especially after like Days of Future Past, which was so good.
That was
They-
Days of Future Past feels like a fan movie, like a movie that was just built to make fans go, "That was fucking cool."
Yeah.
Well, it was trying to undo the fuck up of Last Stand, wasn't it? It's like, yeah, we're going to try and put things right now with this.
And Apocalypse, right? Was Apocalypse after or before?
After
That was
Oh, okay.
after, yeah.
So
Yeah.
did it actually go first class?
First
then?
Class, which I love, by the way.
A lot of people really love First Class. Yeah.
Yep. Days of
Because,
Future
I mean,
Past.
Fox is weird. You look at through all of it because like X-Men 1 is like fine if not good, then 2 is like great, and then 3 is a mess that everyone hates, and then X-Men Origins Wolverine is like the most embarrassing one.
That reminds me, I forgot to buy the
Or
comic.
Matthew Vaughn. Matthew Vaughn gets screwed over in all this. So he was supposed to direct the original X-Men 3 and then bowed out, but he cast Kelsey Grammer as Beast, which was a fucking boss move, by the way. I loved it.
I agree.
And then he gets First Class, but he's kind of like a hired gun. And he got a little frustrated with that, then came up with all the good concepts for Days of Future Past that, Boyd Diddler, Bryan Singer, used and came in. And then when Bryan Singer had to do something on his own, the apocalypse was a mess. And by the way, we learned through the Queen movie that Bryan Singer did that he would disappear for weeks during shoots, and he can get away with it. And he knew it because he's a member of the alphabet community. And Kinsberg would come in and direct shit while he was off partying for 2 weeks doing whatever Bryan Singer does.
You know what he was doing. He was at Honolulu. All the boys love Honolulu.
It's crazy that we got an Oscar Isaac playing Apocalypse, and it was so shit that everyone's forgotten about it.
Oscar Isaac, man, he can't catch a break.
He can't. He really can't.
He's a really good actor, but he's gone into that that death spiral of just getting cast in shitter and shitter things.
All of his indie stuff is actually where the good shit is. It's like Adam Driver, where you want to find them at their best. It ain't anything mainstream because they keep getting given crap.
Yeah. When we're talking about the X-Men series, though, there's something like just really charming about those movies. They really go back to that era before the MCU and taking over everything, and they're kind of like this early prototype for what the MCU would be. This big interconnected universe with spin-off movies and stuff, and
Heroes
they
not
kind of
wearing masks.
Yeah, I mean they kind of they tried it and failed more than they succeeded, but they kind of proved that it could at least be done, and it feels like Marvel just kind of learned the lessons from that, and you had that much slicker, better planned out MCU, whereas it feels like with X-Men,
where we started from.
Yeah, and they've fallen apart now as well. So fucking who knows where we're at now.
One of the things I really miss in that era, by the way, do you miss perfect casting, where it's Professor X will be played by Patrick Stewart, and you're just of course. Yep. Of course. That's just perfect.
Because it was still an era where you had actors and you had movie stars. That's gone now. We don't
I feel
really
like Picard has ruined my opinion of Patrick Stewart.
Totally.
I don't blame you.
Dude, any new appearances of him as Charles Xavier is ruining it as well.
You were talking about the Borg being gay earlier. They actually did that kind of in Picard. They're very soft and nice now. I'll just say that.
This I heard about this and it made me want to vomit from my eyes.
The death of
particularly
Q,
when Agnes when Agnes Jurati is now the Borg queen. This actress who's I don't know how to describe her.
Sensual.
If I had to pick someone who was as unthreatening and homely as possible, it would probably be this poor actress. And she's
Alison Pill, right? That's her name.
Alison Pill.
And I can't look away from it now. And when I tell this to you guys, you won't be able to unsee it either. Her eyes are too close together.
Yeah.
I've known that.
I know she can't. I know she can't help it. And I don't want to mock someone for their appearance, but damn, once you notice it, you can't unsee it, and it's just in every scene.
All right, here's one for you. Joe Biden is starting to remind me of Chris Evans' old Captain America.
A little bit. Except a little less aware.
Yes.
A lot less aware. But yeah, Alison Pill, it's accentuated when they shaved her head and that one shot I shared on Twitter. It's wow, she looks like a action figure, and they painted the eyes wrong.
I wish they would just, fuck off for one, but leave the Borg alone. I hate this. I hate when they had this one awesome concept from a TV show from fucking 30 years ago. The Borg were amazing because they were so alien, they were so different, they were so freaky because they didn't have a personality or a leader or anything like that. They were just this crazy collective consciousness. And they couldn't be stopped. They couldn't be bargained with or negotiated. What's that?
Human ants.
That's it. That's what they were. But it's like that was too cool an idea to just leave alone and just have it be that one-off episode that was awesome. Like they had to keep exploring more about them and giving you more information and then humanizing them, giving them personalities and splintering them off into factions. And they gave them a queen. And now with Picard, it's like they've just made them into like Borg light.
They've joined the Federation. They ruined it. So they joined the Federation, the Borg, just because they asked once. And they asked a 97-year-old Picard. He said, okay.
You know what's funny though is everything.
Yeah, fuck this.
Starfleet. Sorry. Starfleet. I'll be accurate.
Everything you just said though, it just reminds me of what like so many different things have done. One of them is like what Doctor Who has done to the Weeping Angels. It's like this amazing single episode concept, and then it's like you bring them back, and you're like, all right. And I just can't stop bringing them back every single week. It's like, look, there they are. Same payoff every time.
The thing that makes these things interesting is because you don't know much about them. There's a mystery to them. But like, yeah, when you run an idea into the ground like that, it is absolutely the law of diminishing returns. It's just so sad to see it done over and over again. It's like Q, like from Star Trek. He was a fantastic character back in the day. Yeah, and when you first see him in Encounter at Farpoint, he is not a good guy, especially as well when you see him later in the Borg episode. You know, he's there to teach you some fucking hard lessons about the galaxy, the universe that you're facing. It's not a good place, and it's filled with terrifying things, and you're going to learn that the hard way.
That will chill your soul.
But every single time he appears, they make him like more goofy, more comedic, softer. Just this figure of fun, like he's someone that you kind of laugh at.
Well, here's what I think. I think Q first encountered human beings in that quadrant and is like, oh, great, it's these terrible little monkeys. But then he just gets an affinity, especially for Picard. And I think that sort of altered Q's state of thought when it comes to corporeal beings that live in a linear state of time. And maybe he was just somehow made slightly more human over time by being around Picard. It's just made him more playful and interested in human beings that he took favor upon them, which I think in Star Trek lore he has done a couple times through history, but I can't fully remember, and I'm not going to look it up right now.
He's got that arc in Next Generation, right? That arc is there, and then it gets ruined in Voyager.
Yeah,
as Drinker was saying, they like just went to the well way too many times, and then now he's dead, so it doesn't matter. Sorry.
Well, they went to the well also in Deep
He'll
Space
back.
Nine, where he
Everyone
gets
comes
punched
back.
in the face by Sisko.
Okay,
And he's like, Picard never hit me. Well, I'm not Picard. And then that was the end of it, which was funny.
In Star Trek. So
I think All Good Things was a great way to round out his character arc with Picard and everything. Like he taught him one last really important lesson about the nature of the universe and what lies ahead for him. And great, you know, that's it. He leaves him with that.
No.
Nothing. That's the thing. Nothing can ever be fucking left. If there's a good idea that can be mined for a few more bucks, they will absolutely do it.
Well, even in that episode when Q was leaving, he still said the trial is never over, Picard. And he goes, well, I hope I never see you again. And, you know, like Q was going off into like the distance. He goes, I'll see you out there, which still, it's a good way to end everything. But it was so ambiguous. You know, if there was going to be another Star Trek, they'd wrangle Q back into the game, which they obviously did.
Well, Gary, it's funny to think about the gentleman in Buffy. It's like one episode that could easily have been mined over and over and over again. People loved it. They got an award for it, but nope, one and done.
that's restraint that does not get practiced anymore.
No
restraint in 2022, you bigot.
Well, here's the thing. It relies on you having a store of other good ideas that you can use. You know, you're like, okay, I can throw out this great idea and it gets used once and that's it. I don't need to keep relying on it because I've got a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm going to bring out. And when I run out of good ideas, I'm going to end the show or the story that I'm telling because that's it. I know I'm done now as a writer or as a storyteller. But with what we have now, there is no new good ideas with Star Trek. it all has to just be like, let's just call back these old characters, these old concepts. Let's just keep recycling it because there's a little bit of fan enthusiasm still for it. There's people recognize them. People recognize the Borg. They recognize Q. Of course, yeah, let's bring them back in again. But let's try and subvert expectations a little bit by having them be slightly different.
Well, there's two issues here, really. One, J.J. Abrams. Ever since he did a Star Trek, it's like we're perpetually stuck in the Abrams style of Star Trek. We're fucked. And two, most of the people writing for Picard, I don't think they are capable of writing anything outside of emotional drama-filled bullshit, which isn't what Star Trek was really about, in my opinion. Like personal dramas. There's too many of those.
They're the kind of people who put like bread 3 times on their grocery list. They don't even know what the fuck they're doing. So I tweeted Major Grin fucking he tears them apart like every day. It's a great channel, go check it out. But his latest one, and it's a little thing, he points out that they can't get the continuity of their own goddamn show right. They mix up the moons of fucking Jupiter. So Renee Picard is supposed to go to Europa. And they called it Io in another episode, and it's like, oh Jesus Christ! I mean, this is $10 million television show, and they can't even get the fucking moons of Jupiter right. And you think, well, what's the big deal? Well, dude, they do that with Star Trek every day. And in this little short video, he points out like 6 continuity errors just in a scene, in a single effing scene where people like speak about 4 sentences to each other. It's crazy how bad it is. It's
okay. This is going to sound
low
sexist.
For continuity right
this
now,
is going to sound sexist, but I recall being told that like women are hired specifically to watch these shows and movies and catch continuity errors. Is this still true?
I never would have thought they've hired anybody to do that ever, considering.
No.
It used to be a job.
Yes. No, there is a person that is supposed to keep. Yes, there's absolutely a job in Hollywood where somebody keeps track of a timeline. When you're doing a show, you're supposed to have a Bible, of sort with rules and where it's going. They don't care. And they could care less. They've said it. They've said as much. We don't give a fuck.
Can I ask you a question as well? Because talking about Star Trek Picard, is it true that like they run into like a 21st century ancestor of Noonie and Sung?
Yes.
Who happens to look exactly fucking like every other member of the Sung family? Because that's how families work. Like everyone just looks exactly like the ones that came before. Is that all just to get Brent Spiner in? Is it like just literally we just need a reason to bring Brent Spiner back into this show?
So he doesn't have to be Data.
He's got the
fat Data.
Final episode, he was working with a Jurati Borg queen and to stop Renee Picard to going to one of the moons of Jupiter, because we're really not sure, because they said 2 of them, to find a life, a microorganism.
Yeah, a microorganism.
Even though he was not an environmental scientist. They pointed this out in Red Letter Media. He was a genetic scientist, and that microorganism like cures the oceans and the skies.
Yeah, it cures climate change.
It fixed something.
For some reason, they don't need robots because of this. So his whole research gets blown. So he goes into a file after he's pissed and pulls out a file, and it says the Khan Project, and I'm like, Jesus,
fuck off.
Yes, they are trying to find ways to get Brent Spiner, who, like, by the way, cannot act. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to say I'm sorry. He's terrible. He's freaking terrible in anything he does except as Data.
Yes. I guess I think Data masked it for me for years.
I think I remember watching him in
Spiner should get an Oscar for Data.
I remember, he was good at that, but I remember watching him in like Independence Day, and it's almost like
I don't even remember that.
Well, it's almost like after spending 10 years playing Data and not really being able to show any kind of emotion, it all came pouring out in that performance, and he was just like a fucking child that had like, too much sugar. He was so ridiculously like over the top with everything. It just made me think: is this just how he acts like when he's not playing Data? Is it just like a chance to show real emotion?
Yes, because he's an asshole. For one, he plays an ancestor to Dr. Sung twice. So in season 1, it's a son, or it's a grandson. It's a son and grandson, and then in season 2, it's like a great grandfather. Look exactly alike. Oh, and he's
They all-
got the ancestor too. It's so dumb.
They both happen to be exactly the same age as well. Who knew?
Great writing.
Exactly, just Brent Spiner's age.
And he's going to be in season 3, so they're bringing back the entire.
Yeah.
Wait, there's
Are they
going to bring
bring?
Picard?
Yeah.
Are they going to bring back Khan as well?
They
might as well.
They have Khan's. They have a Khan Strange New Worlds, which I'm going to finish watching tonight. But they have a Khan descendant on the crew of the Enterprise. With
like from the Botany Bay that they recovered.
No, a descendant from Khan that didn't go on the Botany Bay. So like Khan must have had a Khan cousin or a sister that didn't go on the Botany Bay that had descendants that ended up on the Enterprise that never gets brought up when Khan is found on the Botany Bay. Like Spock,
that makes sense. Makes sense.
Spock doesn't bring up his foster sister that he had all his life, or Khan, or like, hey, I totally worked. Like, oh, that's weird. I worked with Khan's like little or fucking I don't know, great cousin or whatever the hell it is, or it's that dumb. So they just need to get member berries. And Strange New Worlds is like considered good. It's terrible. It's just as terrible as everything else.
This goes exactly back to what I was saying with Star Trek. Whatever good ideas once existed, we're just going to keep rehashing them. Hey, Khan was a popular character because he was in that popular movie. Yeah, okay, let's just bring some references to him in. Of course, we should do that. There was a really poignant bit in when you talked about Red Letter Media there, when normally they just kind of goof around, they make fun of shows like Picard, but there was a bit where Mike just kind of got kind of serious, and he just said, I feel like I'm just done with this now. I don't even want to watch season 3. I'm not going to do it. I'm not interested in reviewing this anymore. And I feel like with the whole of Star Trek, it's just kind of tainted even my enjoyment of the old stuff. And I just feel like I want to leave it now. I'm finished with it. And I just thought, God damn, that's the power of these shows today. They can retroactively destroy your enjoyment of something. That's impressive.
I really
got a point.
I don't know. I just don't think that any amount of Star Wars crap that comes out is going to stop me from saying the OT is awesome, and I'd love to go rewatch it sometime and stuff.
But the last time I did, I came across Empire Strikes Back in the gym, and I'm sitting down to watch. I'm like, Empire, man, it's the greatest movie. Love this movie. Oh, there's Han Solo. He gets killed by his emo son by walking. Fuck.
Yeah, I haven't watched the original trilogy since the new movies, and I have literal castings of the original Darth Vader A&H helmet sitting in my fucking home.
Huh?
Like, they will turn you against something you loved. It can be done.
Yeah, and I don't want to get there with Doctor Who. I'm not there with Doctor Who. I can watch Doctor Who all the way up to like.
Stop watching, Gary.
Look, they stopped me from rewatching Lord of the Rings. All right, that's never happening.
Oh, that ain't.
Well, wait until Rings of Power comes out more.
No.
They're gonna get you.
I don't think there's any danger of this thing looking anything like Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. The way it sounds.
Well, that's a good point.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's interesting as well, right? Because I'm sure you saw this as well. Like sites like OneRing.net were basically just putting out a desperate appeal to filmmakers, I guess, at Amazon, their overlords, saying, yeah, don't be taken in by all these like toxic takes on YouTube. The real fans love this stuff. We're so excited by this. And I just thought, you know what? It reminds me of that.
Was a phony.
Well, it reminds me of that quote that I'm sure it was Gandhi who said it. And he said, first they ignore you, then they mock you, then they attack you, and then you win.
Uh-huh.
And we're now at the stage of attacking. So I don't know, man. It kind of feels like this could be the brink here.
I think that's been the theme of the overall years we've been doing this.
I don't feel like we won with Star Trek.
No. We lost there.
I think what we win in the end is our culture back, but we're gonna have to like find new things to enjoy.
That reminds me of the 48 laws of power.
in 5, 10, even 20 years from now, who knows that there's just Star
20
Trek. A lot of them
years.
are all. Yeah, well, I mean, it's not going to be easy to flip it all back.
Jesus
to
Christ, it's
good
a
times.
prison sentence you're pitching to me.
Maybe it's good that they haven't hit Conan is just too masculine. This good shit, by the way. Is too masculine to bring out right now. Maybe it's just a good thing, and maybe it comes out later and they adapt some real Robert E. Howard Conan. And
it'd be nice if Marvel and Disney does lose Conan, because they did just censor some Conan book because the character was cultural appropriation. So I ran out and bought the copies.
Oh, you did?
Get physical media, people.
Oh yeah.
This is the Cimmerian. This is word for word adaptations from Robert E. Howard French comics. They're fucking awesome.
Oh, I just did a question as well. Have you guys seen the sort of teasers for Quantum Leap? They're rebooting that.
What?
I mean, I'm sorry to keep bringing down the mood even further, if that was possible, but there it is. They're rebooting Quantum Leap.
Rewind a fucking decade and we all be like, oh, that's kind of neat. What are they going to do? But now we're all like, oh, we know what they're going to do. It's all doomed.
It'll be a black woman this time.
That's what I was saying about in 20 years from now, it might be that all the IPs are dead. They're just dead, and there's a whole bunch of new ones made by people who actually just want to.
I highly doubt that. With as creatively bankrupt as everyone seems now.
Well, no, because we still do get good stuff. It's just it gets barely any traction. Look at Northman.
Yep. So then in 20 years, there'll be 20 Norseman sequels. That's what you'll get.
Wait. I'm gonna. I'm going to share something with you guys here. It's an article that I found out about Quantum Leap. So just give me 1 second.
After this last couple of weeks while you're looking up that article, I have just been lost in Babylon 5. That's all I've been doing. It's been really that's why my She-Hulk trailer reactions days late.
I mean,
I was just watching Babylon 5. I could give a fuck.
Look past the special effects and you're all right. Okay, Here we go. So can you see this?
What the fuck is that, a man or a woman?
Well, there you go. Quantum Leap shows off diverse non-binary cast. It's been 30 years. It's been 30 years since Dr. Sam Beckett stepped into the Quantum Leap accelerator and vanished, and now a new cast takes over, said to be in the present day.
So basically, we just got the person who sucked as the character from Cowboy Bebop. They're back again for leaping.
There's Ernie Hudson there on the side.
Oh, poor Ernie Hudson. You could get him to do a show for a bowl of soup.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Ernie's got to eat, right?
Hey, just do another Ghostbusters movie. Come on, man. Ernie, I love you.
Feels bad, man.
That looks so ridiculous.
Right, here we go. The cast is
to Comic-Con dressed as a Ghostbuster. Like, you remember me, kids? Fuck no, bro. You the janitor?
The cast is led by Raymond Lee as Dr. Ben Seung, who has previously been described as the spiritual successor to Scott Bakula's Dr. Sam Beckett from the original series.
Oh, that's good.
That is one of those lines, right?
It's the kiss of death.
Yes. It's a reimagining. It's not the Quantum Leap that you remember. It's not your dad's Quantum Leap. It's modernized.
Maybe I want to see my dad's Quantum Leap.
It's available. It's now so global audiences can be seen.
Basically, I'm sorry. This is going to sound bad, but what are the odds of an annoying, liberal, non-binary person doing something heroic? The chances are slim and next to none. They spend their time on TikTok virtue signaling or canceling someone on Twitter. I can't believe you said that.
You don't understand Gundam. They're making the world a better place, okay? And they're perpetuating the message.
One IP at a time.
One IP at a time. That's right.
So we can
Halo.
Do the last Halo episode. I'm watching that in theoretically an hour from now. It's going to be great.
Oh,
no, I like to feel pain, do you?
How many episodes was the first season?
9, and I don't know how else to translate this to you guys than the most easiest way possiblest, which is saying it's TLJ, but for Halo fans.
Isn't Master Chief dead? Sorry to spoil anything, but
he's alive.
He's alive.
There's all kinds of, figuratively. But there's so many choices they made. As someone who's only like a fucking vague Halo fan, even I'm just like,
Casual.
wow, you guys must hate Halo fans to have made all these decisions.
Well, they made it clear that they didn't bother researching the source material or playing the games. They just did what they wanted.
Why would you? That wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, you got a point.
Just grab shit that you want. Hey, his suit looks cool.
You know what else I hate? This asshole keeps taking off his mask. I hate that about all superhero films now.
He explained
that's the Mando school of like superheroes, isn't it?
And throw Pedro Pascal in the garbage. I'll take the Mando show. I won't even take off the helmet when I sleep on set. How does that sound?
Dude, that's how crazy it is. Like, I was disappointed he took it off in the last episode of Mando. I was like, oh,
it was coming. Pascal fought for that.
Well, no, I know. But so what I'm getting at is like in the Halo show, he barely keeps it on at all. It's like we should be thankful that Mando managed to keep it on for as long as he did.
Just like Spider-Man, you'd have to like literally kill Peter Parker to get that mask off of him.
No, he kicks
now in the films, that shit never is on his face.
They all take all their masks. Every one of them has fucking CGI masks now. The nanotech just forming around them, so they have an excuse to take it off all the time. It's so sad. Like one of the weird, like the lower level complaints I have for this is just like the diversity in their builds of their suits. They're all the fucking same now. Everyone has the nanotech. Do you remember when Ant-Man's mask in his first film? It was much more strange than everyone else's, the way it worked. And then when he turns up in Endgame, it's just nanotech. It's like, oh.
You got the hookup from Tony Stark.
Yeah, everyone did, right? Everyone's just got the net. Because Moon Knight, they managed to get away with it by all being magical, I guess.
Yep.
But remember Black Panther? By the way, Black Panther looked the best in Civil War, his suit, and the way it worked. And then in his movie, nanotech, bitch. You're like, right, yeah, okay. Constantly deforming and reforming the mask whenever the character needs to speak so that everyone can see it's the actor.
Right, when that Endgame scene where everybody comes flying through giant sling ring holes that they didn't use in Doctor Strange 2. When Spider-Man comes up and it's all dun and like he just takes off his mask and goes, like what? Why?
If only J. Jonah Jameson happened to be there.
Right there. You masked menace.
I got you now, Peter.
Get me photos of Spider-Man. Peter Parker. He's right there, goddammit.
Shit. I don't know even. When they're down to Quantum Leap, see that this is where you know it's ending. It's just, we're watching a really slow train wreck. The slowest train wreck
in all of human history.
In all of history.
Gary will know they're at the wit's end when they do it to Teletubbies. That's when we know it's over. Yes. They reboot Teletubbies to be woke.
There's been a bunch of us for 5 years now when they were miles down the track going, hey, dude, that track the bridge is gone, dude, and you're going to go right off the cliff. But you got time. You got years to work this out. Hey, I'm a big fan. You're a big fan, Maulers, but we've displayed that we're big fans. We just, tell good stories. That's all.
Fuck you bigot.
Bigot. We've known this for 5 years. Now the train is just slowly about to fly off that track.
Honest to God, for real, who wants Quantum Leap now? For like, really?
There is a huge Quantum Leap fan base waiting for this. Okay.
The only people who remember Quantum Leap are like me, Gary, and maybe Dranker.
I mean,
wow,
vaguely,
single me out.
I figured you were younger.
You fucking child mauler.
I'm an eldritch being. You have no idea how old I am. I may have watched Quantum Leap or heard about it through Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It was one of those shows, it was a fun little premise. It was okay.
Way back in the day.
It's not one of those things that was a real cultural like touchstone or anything that people are desperate to see come back. I think it would have been fine to just leave it. Yeah. I don't think there's much of an inbuilt audience there that's going to be like really excited for this one.
Well, as long as they have a non-binary person, people on Twitter will cheer and then it'll get canceled in the season.
I would say so.
What else could they like reboot for television? Cheers?
Everything.
I mean,
I know they're rebooting Frasier.
There's so much. that they can do. I mean, Buffy and Angel, they could eventually fuck with them. I don't see why not.
They could do Farscape.
Yeah,
That could go. They could do Stargate.
they threatened to
Again.
do Babylon 5. Is that still happening, or is it not now?
It's delayed till 2023 because the CW is for sale, and they didn't pick it up for this year, but they said it's in development for next year.
That's what all these are, by the way. They're threats. It's like,
Threats?
please stay away.
Take them as threats. That's exactly how I take them.
What, do we have to pay a ransom?
Kind of. It's in the form of our fun memories of these IPs.
Oh, well, that's pretty big.
Mm.
What shall we destroy next? We've got some super chats here. Do you guys have a little bit of time? We could go through a few.
All
Yeah.
right.
Sure.
Absolutely.
All right. This one's a long one. So Mauler, you should appreciate this. It's a
Sweet.
story. All right. It's from Chuxenhausen. So he's given me. It's a 5-parter. So
Oh.
fucking hell. All right. I'll go through the whole thing and then we can give our thoughts on it at the end. So last month I had the most empty sex of my life. I didn't care for her much or what she believed in, but I needed the release, so I did. I only lasted maybe 3 minutes the first time, 5 seconds the second time, and I'm being nice. It's like my mind went into this weird place thinking about other women that I talk about too, with whom I would not only last longer, but genuinely enjoy my experience until this ended. Worst ever. To my point, I feel this way with Amazon's Lord of the Rings. Absolutely nothing about it, and just want September the 2nd to pass and let you all trash it that week before waiting for September the 9th, because that's when Cobra Kai comes out. Can't wait. P.S. This legendary super chat is so worthy of being its own Chasers clip. It really is now. It's that long. I like how you really built up to that final epic climax. Yeah, so Lord of the Rings comes out on September 1st, or September 2nd, sorry.
Right.
And then Cobra Kai comes back on September the 9th. So at least there'll be something to balance out the cosmic scales.
Yep.
That show coming out to us lot is like tossing a nice chicken nugget to piranhas. It's just like, it'll be
I guess
gone
I
in
have
seconds.
Prime, so I'll watch it.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Very good analogy. And I'm going to be, I'm sure you guys are going to be watching House of the Dragon too. So I'm going to check that out. I'm sure
If I have to. I think you're the only person I'd talk to about that with. I don't know, because like, who cares about it in our spheres right now? I don't know.
I think the only people who care are Game of Thrones channels that are excited that they can relive the magic. Except they're not going to be able to.
It's not going to be the same.
Not going to be the same at all.
It's like me with a Marvel TV show at this point. I would watch it just to dissect it. You know, there would be no excitement there to actually hear the story that they've got to tell, because I don't think it's going to be worth it. It's just going to be, it's picking it apart.
It's really repetitive because the story was made as a foreshadowing of what's going on in the main story of A Song of Ice and Fire, and it's also there to just give texture and history to the world. So it's a mythos, right? So it's not a real story with dialogue and characters who progress interacting with each other. It's this guy does this, and then this guy does. It's told from the perspective of a maester, 3 different people as a history, basically, in the book. So there's no George dialogue at all and it follows the same path. So it's supposed to be, well, we're supposed to learn from the lessons of the story, and we can pluck the lessons from that story to maybe predict what's going on in the overall A Song of Ice and Fire, which is never going to finish.
Here's a question: who's looking forward to The Boys season 3? Mauler, I know you aren't.
I'm probably gonna make the EFAP lads watch that. I don't. Because I don't know if you guys saw the trailer, but it looks like the same shit again. And I'm gonna go ahead and assume they've left out of the trailer all of the cringy as fuck dialogue that they're probably going to have throughout the show about whatever ideas they have about whatever it is they want to tell us.
Exploration of toxic masculinity and more opportunities to talk about Trump. That's what the showrunner said.
The trailer is filled with gore and swear words and action, and it's really focused on how Homelander is going to be like they're addressing Homelander in this season or something, and it's just like, isn't that just been the same thing every season? He's crazy. I know. Like, I don't know what are we doing.
Remember when Homelander was a really cool, intimidating character, and then they just kind of ruined him.
He wants mommy's milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've completely ruined Butcher and Homelander from the comics, like completely.
Here's one from the Uber Geek who says the only thing missing from the She-Hulk trailer was Amy Schumer making queef jokes. I would say so. It's in that vein.
Don't rule it out.
Could
It's probably
happen.
in the show.
As likened it to Sex and the City, and I think he's not far off in terms of like the level of.
Well, hey, that was
writing.
Successful, right?
Yeah,
A long time ago.
that came back, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
It's got a different name now, but it came back as something else, and
Yes,
it's like
it's
the same
geriatric
fucking
Sex and the
like
City.
yeah, like the 60-year-old fucking women that are completely shot out. Still doing their
Golden
thing.
Girls, but a different name. Or?
Yeah, but I think it's meant to be like now. It totally plays into the whole gender obsession and political correctness and
Yeah,
all
I saw a
that we
clip
have
where-
nowadays. And it just sounds like the most disastrous, like mean-spirited garbage that I've ever seen. I would never watch it anyway, but yeah, fucking hell, man. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea to bring it back. Like, how can you bring back a show from the 90s now?
Dude, they don't even want to watch them. It scares them when they watch stuff like that.
Yeah. Jim Junkie says, Hail Drinker Mauler Hail Drinker and Mauler from Montana, the big sky country. Always a pleasure to listen to this Scottish and Welsh symphony of opinions and criticisms. Lovely, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Charles Hurst says, my thoughts while watching the She-Hulk trailer. FYI, I could be used for snoo snoo. Death by snoo snoo.
Oh, so a big, strong man, probably in a green outfit, will carry you off screen rather than that beautiful CGI'd woman you're hoping for.
Yeah.
Man, they were really proud of themselves for that part, weren't they? Like as a meme, I guess.
That
whole trailer was so cringy, man.
It was great. It was empowering.
Daniel Eade says, good day, mate. Can you do a video on what you would have done if Mr. Lucas sold Star Wars or Indiana Jones to you? It's hypothetical, so you don't need the $4 billion you need to buy it. Shit, man. What would I have done if I'd been given Star Wars?
Just
made Ray.
Just turn it off as a franchise.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? The expanded universe was pretty good. Just leave that. That's fine.
Start adapting that stuff. That would probably be a very good way to go.
Indiana Jones, Crystal Skull wasn't a great movie, but that's a fine way to end it. Like, I don't want to do any more Indiana Jones films.
If we're allowed to decanonize this fifth one, we're decanonizing Crystal Skull too.
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I could do that retroactively, then yeah. Otherwise, just leave it alone.
There is only 3 Indiana Jones films.
With Star Wars, it's like you adapt the Throne trilogy and you make Charles Dance Throne. Done. Easy. Get a writer who gives a shit. You'll make all the money.
You and Charles Dance, you're just going to cast him in everything, aren't you?
Every time there is a charismatic leader who's assertive and confident and popular with his own men, it's like, yeah, Charles Dance, just do it. He's done it a million times. Just make him do it again.
Graham Gallagher said, Hail Drinker and Company, wanted to bring the channel pitch meeting to your attention. Ryan George reimagines writers selling movie ideas to producers. Yes, I'm very familiar with pitch meeting, and they're pretty good. Yeah, pretty fun. Daniel Monroe says, yes, Drinker and the gang, if you're going to be talking about the new Predator movie, I hope the medieval fan fiction on YouTube gets brought up. I'd choose to watch that. I have the 2018 version any day. Have a few beverages on me, gents. Thank you very much. And yeah, that was the one I was referencing earlier. It's like Predator Dark Ages, I think it's called. And it's set during like the Crusades. So it's like a medieval knight has to join forces with who were they fighting? The Moors or something? The two of them have to go up against a predator. And it's pretty good. Yeah, I liked it.
That's a cool concept.
It was done on a budget of like $1,000 or something, but like they made it look brilliant. Like,
Christ,
really well done.
Well, Batman,
there we go.
Batman Dead End. I mean, that was more than $1,000, but Predator and that.
Yeah, Outcast Creative, a friend of his directed it, so there you go.
Oh, neat.
So people watching this looking for decent Predator fan fiction, go and watch Predator Dark Ages. It's really good.
It'll be better than Prey.
It will be better than way. Yes, it will.
Ghost in the Cray gave me a super sticker of a beer. Thank you. RRTNZ said, "Hail Drinker, love your reviews. How about a recommends for the 80s action classic like Lethal Weapon or 48 Hours, just to take a break from the sludge?"
That's a
That
good
would,
movie. 48 Hours is one of my favorite all-time movies. Love it.
yep,
Oh, that's next rebooting.
yep. Lethal Weapon's already had one, hasn't it? It's had a TV show.
TV show. Yeah.
Did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Damon Wayans, right? One of the Wayans brothers. I don't know if it was Damon, but
Oh Lord, no wonder I missed it.
yeah, I missed it. I skipped it completely too.
Didn't they reboot? What's the one with Charles Bronson?
Death
Wish.
Death Wish. That's they rebooted that, didn't they?
They
Yeah,
did.
that was Bruce Willis.
It was
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, and it was the guy who directed. It was the horror director who hangs out with Quentin Tarantino, and I'm forgetting his name. Come on, help me, chat.
Oh, Robert
Foot
Rodriguez.
Nibbler.
Oh no,
Eli Roth.
Eli Roth. Thank you.
There you go. Sargon's giving us a good one. Predator versus Highlander.
Yes,
There could be only one.
they've got Predator versus. I mean, there's a Predator. I was just looking it up. Predator and Tarzan, and they fight dinosaurs. That's fucking awesome. Like, I'd
And
see
then,
that.
wouldn't it be cool to actually have a bit of fun and actually just drop the Predator into historical things that have like Troy? You just drop him in, and eventually there's a fight between Achilles and a Predator. Just because why have some fun instead of it always just trying to.
Fun is white supremacy. Waller.
God damn it!
Aren't they rebooting the Highlander again?
Yeah, Henry Cavill's doing it apparently.
I'm kind of all right with that. I mean,
I'm kind of tired of Henry Cavill. There's a hot take.
Wow.
that is a take. Wow, how could you be tired?
That's hot.
He hasn't got. Well, I'm tired of him being a bait and switch for everything. So
I'm you know what I'm tired of is Henry Cavill being like an A-lister in waiting.
Yeah.
It feels like he's been like that for the past 10 years. And it's like, just give the guy a decent fucking movie to be in. Stop making him be in shitty Superman films that like directed by the wrong guy. Stop putting him in shitty TV shows like The Witcher. Just give him a really good movie that he can sink his teeth into.
I don't think anybody's holding a gun to his head when he signs the contract.
I mean, maybe it's just bad decision making. Maybe
fire that agent.
you know, maybe he's because I know he's a fan of The Witcher. Maybe he was just like, yeah, of course I want to play this role because
Yeah,
it
I
sounds
heard him
fun.
like forcing them to keep a scene or a certain way that the director was against, but he turned out being correct.
Yeah, that was when the horse died, like Roach.
Roach.
And like the director wanted to make it like a meta joke about how he's had loads of horses called Roach, and he was like, "No, we should really play this seriously."
Yeah, so maybe he does have like bad signing.
Yeah, I just think I don't know if it's bad luck or what, but man, it's like he's cursed. Same person also said, while we're talking, I know the list is very long, but Black Sails, Justified, and Banshee are totally worth your time. In the meantime, have one on me. Thank you very much.
Justified and Banshee. Justified and Banshee. I haven't seen Black Sails. I kind of dipped out on that one for a while. Maybe I'll go back and look. But Justified and Banshee, absolutely watch those shows. Great shows.
What's your opinion on Peacemaker? Go watch my review because I did a whole review on it. But generally, I quite liked it. Made me laugh. Mr. Nobody says, please look up Patrick Stewart's insane laugh from his time as Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. Use it wisely. It could be one from my videos then. Unhinged said, what's that?
Looking now. Keep going. Don't mind.
All right. Carry on. Next one was from Unhinged, who says, I don't use Viagra for pressure time. I watch The Drinker. Nice. Krusty Juggler says, the writer for She-Ra has written some good stuff, but the Pickle Rick episode of Rick and Morty, like the Pickle Rick episode of Rick and Morty, producers won't let writers shine in Disney anymore. Be stunning and brave. Jobo Jagmans. Fair enough. Rob the Builder says, Hail Drinker and guests, I'm tired of bad entertainment. I just rewatched the classics. You can get better female-led stories from the Studio Ghibli movies. Ellie's gay, by the way. Words of wisdom, I would say. Stephen Bobo says, greetings, Critical Drinker. Question, who is your favorite Marvel female character, and how will you rate this female character against your waifu Tifa Lockhart? I'm more of an Aerith man myself, to be fair. But yeah, favorite female character in Marvel before they completely fucked her up would probably have been Black Widow. Black Widow in Avengers was great.
Yeah.
Really
Carol
liked her.
Danvers as Miss Marvel actually was cool.
What, Rogue
Well.
versus Miss Marvel?
Marvel
the
Miss Marvel, like, yeah, comics.
Yeah. Miss Marvel from the comics was cool. Yes. Before they made her into Captain Marvel. Totally cool
Yeah.
character.
What
As
about
was
you,
mentioned.
gents?
So the selection is going to be between Gamora, Nebula, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch. Obviously,
Yeah, is it
before.
MCU? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Nebula, I
And,
really like. I've got a real soft spot for Nebula.
Yeah, Nebula is my favorite.
It's pretty awesome. I like Gamora quite a bit as well, but yeah, I would probably go with Black Widow up to. His story was complete at Endgame. I actually like what they did with her in Endgame. And then her movie just fucked everything up. So
Yeah.
There's like moments in Endgame that are so cool, like when Nebula's kind of taking care of Tony, in the ship before stupid
Yeah.
Captain Marvel shows up and saves him. I thought that they're like playing the game. I thought that was a cool scene.
because it was.
It's the fun aspect of franchises like this, just taking two characters that would never normally interact with each other and just plopping them together, seeing how they play off each other. It's a fun little thing. Like Tony and Nebula, like two people you would never imagine like interacting and talking to each other, but there they are. They're stuck on a spaceship together. What do they do? There you go.
Yeah, and I
fun.
think I'd have to see it again. But when they land, when Captain Marvel saves them, because of course, I think when Tony's like being held by whoever Nebula walks by, or he walks by her, and they both like share a look of just.
Yep.
I got a lot from the look. It like we've just been through fucking hell.
Yep.
And we're here now.
JS Pena says She-Hulk looks as bad as the Scorpion King. I don't know,
Oh,
man.
wow.
Nothing can look that bad.
God, I remember that.
It's like burned into your memory.
Was it Cardinal Digital? It was a different channel, but they fixed it, quote unquote. And they like redid the scene with actually getting like top-notch special effects in the Scorpion King scene. People should check that out. It's really funny.
Really good, actually. But yeah, it's always on those list of like top 10 worst CGIs in movies ever. Kind of.
Yeah.
God, that's how long The Rock's been around too. I remember that sequel is
Yeah,
like
man.
The Rock's gonna be in it. Whoa.
Do you remember when The Rock was in an episode of Star Trek Voyager, and it was the most random fucking thing where
Yes.
he fought 7 of 9? He was like a pit fighter or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was when he still had hair. It was that long ago.
And now we get Stacey Abrams coming in playing a planet.
Yeah.
I mean, she was
That
pretty
was
good at
weird.
Planet. That was a well-cast planet for sure.
True. Frank Knox says rum and coke sounds good right now, or maybe an island. That would be good. Indeed, it would. Claudia Rogajan says saw Doctor Strange, exactly what I thought. Just meh. There you go. The Wet Cat Strangler says, hey, love your stuff, guys. Keep making more stuffs. I think we all will, probably.
Yeah.
Offer Knave says, Gary, will you talk about Babylon 5 on Open Bar when you finish it? I know Mahler's a fan. I hope Drinkers one too.
I'll talk about it when anybody wants to. I am down. I am so down. I'll be finished soon.
I think I would need to go back to it. I remember watching it back in like the 90s, so it's been a while.
Yeah, I can hold a conversation about it, but my memory of it is thin compared to what yours is going to be, where it's like all active 100%. All I remember is Jakar is one of the best character arcs in TV.
Dude, absolutely one of the best character arcs ever in TV. And I'm like at sweet spot. It's season 3 where they just broke off from Earth, right? So it's Babylon 5's independent. We're about to go on in the shadow. And people were telling me this in the Game of Thrones streams, and I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, because I'm like really Johnny come lately, obviously, to Babylon 5. I just started watching it like a couple of years ago. I got so many suggestions. I'm like, fine, I'll watch it, and now I love it. But and I did that with Farscape, and I'm probably going to do that with SG1. I'll just end up liking it and feel like an idiot for missing it. But people were saying like, man, George R. R. Martin ripped off a lot of stuff from Babylon 5. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, wow. He got a lot of ideas from Elric and Babylon 5. I think because Straczynski was his friend, I think he's just paying him homage. But there is a lot of stuff from Babylon 5 that's in A Song of Ice and Fire. Little, like the shadows coming to play, that whole song, and they take on the shadows in Babylon 5. I'm sorry, I'm boring everybody now, but that was just an epiphany I had last night. I'm like, wow, there is a lot of Game of Thrones stuff in this. Weird.
I'd be really interested to hear your take as well on SG-1, because there was some good sci-fi in there. Like season 1's pretty rocky, but once it gets its footing, it's got some great stuff there.
I'll admit, like, the reason I didn't watch it because it used to come on here in America right after Battlestar Galactica, and Battlestar Galactica to me was just fucking top tier television. And I saw SG-1 and I was kind of a snob. I was like, it doesn't look as good as BSG. And I didn't watch it. It ends up probably ending better. So I'll probably end up eating some crow on that one.
It's it sort of falls into that trap of being a bit comfortable at times, just like comfortable, like early 2000s sci-fi. But you know what? That's all right. I'll take that over what we have now. Alkindolfer says, isn't She-Hulk just a chunky Gamora, or have I drunk too much Desperados? I mean, she kind of looks like it, yeah.
They definitely should have gone with giving her the Gamora treatment for her face instead of CGIing it.
Yes, absolutely. Like, this is the shame about this isn't like Miss Marvel, America Chavez, and Captain Marvel are dumb fucking characters. They're dumb in the comic books. They're dumb, but like She-Hulk is a good character, is a really good character. They have screwed it up in the comic books now, but for years everybody loved She-Hulk. Like, she replaced the Thing in the Fantastic Four, and nobody freaked out. Like, we all knew he'd come back, but like they were like it was fine. Like, cool. We like She-Hulk. She was fun. She liked being She-Hulk. It sucks because this is like one of Marvel's real, even though it's a derivative token character, it still is, but this is one of the real female characters that they could have built on for years, and they just throw it in a Disney Plus series as a kind of afterthought, which is just, it shows how dumb they are. Shows how dumb.
Yeah, and look at how like the makeup in Guardians will age, even though it was difficult probably to get that all done every single time they need to shoot with Gamora, but she looks fantastic forever now. But this monstrosity, like, if they don't fix it, old people will come away. You gotta respect that the average viewer, like, bad CGI really fucking puts them off quick. Like, compared to like bad writing for just audience members. When they see that shit, they're like, oh, what is this? Like, what am I watching?
I think this will inspire more pornography.
Oh, probably. I mean, which is going to have a better story, and the makeup will be better too.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's ironic. I think there's already a She-Hulk porno starring China the wrestler.
I'm not sure I want to see that.
Well, don't look for like the poor parts, but I'm pretty sure she did do the Gamora treatment for that.
She did.
I mean, she'd have the physique. She was pretty massive back in the day.
Yes.
All right then.
Not so a lot of steroids.
Take it back.
Yeah, she's paying the price now, I think, isn't she?
Well,
no, I've never seen this before, so I Googled it, and it's not that great.
No, dude, you don't want to. There's just, you know what? There's certain. I'll just put it this way: there's certain questions you just don't want to know the answers to.
I have opened a very dark
what
door.
What does China look like naked?
I didn't type that. No, sir.
No. Just no.
Let's have a little joke here then from George Watkins. He says, "Did you know William Shatner turned down a role in Christopher Nolan's World War II movie? Shatner said, 'No thanks, Chris. I've already done Kirk.'" Nice one. I see what you did there. Claudia Rogajan says, "Top Gun is boring to me. Am I crazy drinker?" Yes, you are crazy, and you need help, man. Digby Strawbridge says, "Wouldn't it be lovely if RTD came out and publicly praised J.K. Rowling in the interest of fairness?" That would be interesting.
That would be
I don't think it's gonna happen though.
No, Moffat kind of called her out, which was stupid. Like his call out was just be nice to people. I think that's kind of what she's asking for personally, but whatever. Fight amongst yourselves, crazy British leftists.
This is it. I mean, well, she's courted these people for years, so I guess this is what happens. Eventually, you're going to say the wrong thing, and that's it. You're done. You're not a person anymore. Chris MC said Tyrone Magnus is loving the Drinkers videos recently. You should get him on the open bar. Maybe I will. Glad he's enjoying it anyway. Andrew McCarroll says, good afternoon, Critical Drinker and Mauler. I'm enjoying a beautiful Virginia afternoon at an open bar called New Realm and drinking a wonderful stout named Rum Doomsday. Cheers. Fuck, he sounds like he's in a better position than us.
Yeah.
And I'm in a fucking dark room in Scotland. Well,
he's outside. I can't drink alcohol, but just the being at an open outside place would be nice.
Sounds all right, yeah. Papa Piker says, hey boys, halfway through the WandaVision WandaVision coverage, what happens if the dead body you Darkhold possess is an organ donor? Do you control them too? Yeah, so like in Doctor Strange 2, if you dream walk into a body and they're an organ donor, do you get control over the organs?
Yeah, because like let's just pretend for a second, because you can possess dead bodies. If I'm in a motorcycle accident, boom, and then I give my heart and several other organs to other people, and then you dream walk into me, like I do into that universe of me. Does like the person who has my heart feel a bit of a tug? And they're like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on?
Are you only in control of the organ though? So like you could, it's not gonna be much use to you.
Unless I mean, like, I don't even know what it would.
Fuck that! I'm keeping my organs.
Yeah,
just in case.
Well, if you can possess a dead body, then you can possess a motorcycle. Okay, you can possess a lamp, because they're about the same thing. Once the body's dead, there's no fucking brain. So, like, if you get it doesn't make any sense to begin with.
Well,
but
let me help you out, Gary. Okay, it's a reference to something you probably never heard of, called Even Dead, Evil, something. I don't know. It's some movie by some guy, but it's a reference. Therefore, everything is fine.
Oh, it's an Evil Dead reference. Okay, it's cool. It's fine. Because the hand and a book and Bruce Campbell.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if that was a strategy on Marvel's end, it worked because so many people are willing to ignore all of the shit and to be like, Sam Raimi, woo!
Dude, I am the biggest Sam Raimi fan in the world. I don't give a shit. He can make shit. He can. He made Spider-Man 3, which is not good. I know we like look back on it a little fonder now, but it's not a good movie. It's just not.
I think he just gets walked over by the studios, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's a nice guy. He's like a famously like really sweet guy. So
I also wonder how many of these people use the Evil Dead Army of Darkness defense have actually seen them. I wonder about that. Because I love the films. I'm just saying, like,
oh yeah,
you get a lot of people who are just like passionately like it's referencing to these films that are awesome. He's an awesome director, and you're just like, what else has he done? Do you know? And the kind of people would just be like, well,
you're a bigot.
He's only done Spider-Man and Evil Dead, right?
Nope. After I saw Darkman, I'm like, every superhero movie needs to be made like this.
Yeah,
like everyone. This is
what I mean, man. Give him full control, please.
Greatest thing ever.
Yeah, that was the sad thing about Doctor Strange 2. It's like you got these just little moments of Sam Raimi direction. It's like, oh, this is really funny. It's cool. It's like wacky and get fast paced and stuff. But then it just goes and back to the Marvel blandness.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a Sam Raimi film is it if he isn't writing? Like,
not really.
You get like flourishes and stuff, but I don't know, man. His writing is what a lot of the time binds everything together with his directing as well.
He's particularly good at producing television, like his television stuff is really
we did Ash versus the Evil Dead, didn't we?
Yeah,
and great stuff.
Produced Spartacus and Xena, and Spartacus is the shit. That is season 1 is amazing. So lots of
Johnny Z said, hail to this panel of legendary men. Thanks for opening the bar, Drinker. Always great to see you all individually, but even greater together. Much love from shitty Southern California. Thanks, man. Hope it gets better for you there.
It probably won. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Ruda Chris says, never thought Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would be in the top half of Marvel TV, but here we are.
Ooh.
Just by process of elimination, it's got to be there, isn't it?
It does. At least like season 2, like went into Winter Soldier pretty well. I kind of like that. That was pretty cool.
The Agent Carter show, that's probably fine compared to
yes.
Well,
there's 2 seasons of it where it's just Agent Carter doing things in after Cap 1.
Season 1 was all right. Season 2 was a bit meh.
Yeah, but like, do you know what I mean though? That compared to what we're getting right now in these shows, it's like
that's true.
Right.
I was just looking at Haley the whole time.
Damn, she is. She's something.
Aren't they doing a Captain Carter thing for her now, like live action?
If she does another red carpet interview in that, I'm fine with it.
I think someone sent me a tweet that was like, "There's something in the works now to do a live action thing with her and Captain Carter." I was like, "Well, I'm fine with that, I guess."
She needs to do like a Tomb Raider movie or something, man. She's like perfect for it.
She is, but in her Captain Carter movie, I want her to introduce herself, throwing her shield at everybody. And this is Captain Carter.
And she keeps saying, "I can do this all day," randomly, and everyone's just like, "Are you okay? Like, do you need to sit down?"
Like, that's all she can say.
It's like her only line.
Tourette's, like a form of Tourette's, where that's all. She can
Pick of the Day says, I'm not for the full message, but please stop using gay as an insult. I'm gay, not my fault. I don't think we have used it.
It's not an insult.
I always also
I'm pretty sure
being
I
a good
say
thing and
things are
bad
gay
thing,
quite often.
I find it abusing to say something is big gay, but like, no, gay's fine. You'll be fine.
It's
Don't
fine.
worry about it.
Nobody's said you are not bad. You are totally normal. Don't worry about it.
We love you. Pick of the Day.
Most of the gay jokes that are made on EFAB are by Rags, and if anyone's like, "Does Rags hate gay people?" I'll be like, "Clearly, you don't know much about Rags," and that's fine.
I have a shrine to Freddie Mercury, for God's sakes.
There you go. Big Doc says, "Sir, give me a number to donate so that we can at least watch The Way of the Gun. You can punch me in the face if you don't like it. I'm sure I will like it, and I will get around to watching it." Erwin says, "Hi guys, just wondered if any of you've seen Ice Station Zebra. I asked the drinker ages ago about it, but has Gary and the guys watched it, and what do they think of it? Love you, lads." Ice Station Zebra is like a proper 1960s Cold War like thriller.
Oh, I'm old, so there's like that might have been one that I've seen and forgotten. I'd have to see.
So I think it's like a nuclear submarine. They get sent up to like the North Pole, like underneath the ice, and they've got to recover like a crashed satellite or something like that. And it's some kind of spy satellite that can like pinpoint all the Soviet missile sites and all that.
Yeah, I've seen it, sure, like in the 80s on TV.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you a thing about it.
It feels like one of those films that like be dated as fuck, but like if we watched it now, we'd probably be quite impressed by how well written it is, like how tight it is. I'm sure it's based on a novel as well. I think it's Alistair MacLean wrote it, I think. Anyway, Warped Eyebrows says, "Does Mauler really like and recommend Everything Everywhere All at Once? And the Northman's dream sequences were really cool and sort of trippy."
I loved them.
Were they asking if I really recommend it?
Yeah, so they're asking if you recommend Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then he kind of segues into talking about the Northman's dream sequences being crazy.
This is the best movie I've seen in a while, maybe since The Father.
He cried butterfly tears.
It's a movie that like it's got something for everybody. I think I actually would argue that it has a bazillion genres all smashed together. It'll keep you'll never fucking think of what's coming next. In fact, like, if you know nothing about the film, the first like 10 minutes you'll be like, "Oh, I'm in for like a sort of a family drama then." And it's like, yeah, sure.
Like you'll never look at hot dogs the same way either once you've seen it.
No,
well, I don't need to see it because the journalist told me it was white supremacy.
The kind of humor in this film will fucking surprise you. The twists and turns it has, and then I really am impressed with just how much meaning you can draw out of it in terms of what they're trying to say about a lot of stuff. And in some ways, I don't know if you got this impression, Drinker, but some of the pieces of dialogue, like when the character would be like, I understand you're all afraid and confused, and so you think you just need to fight, but there are other things, there are other ways to do, and it just felt like a general message that kind of can apply to a lot of factions, if we could put it that way. I really appreciate the film. It was meaningful and really well put together. Very happy it exists. It's perfect. It's a perfect cure to Multiverse of Madness.
Big comeback for Short Round too.
And he's great in it.
I heard he's great.
Yeah, he's really good. You would never recognize him, but yeah, it's good to see him. And Michelle Yeoh, I thought, was fantastic in it. It's like, man, she's still got the fucking moves as well. Like almost 60 years old.
Dude, there's I don't know if I just the elements of like it gets incredibly meta at one moment, like because I mean the fact is we've already said it's a multiverse movie, right? And she's the main character. It's like she needs at one point to tap into a universe where she is a famous star related to Kung Fu.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I know what you're doing, movie. And it's awesome.
I think my favorite universe is the one where she trains to do Kung Fu using just her pinkies. And like they're like super strong. She's like fighting people with them.
Dude, everyone just go see this movie. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah, it's got James Hong in it as well, so that makes
He's
it automatically
great at it, yeah.
yeah. Love it. Looking forward to reviewing it. Next one was Brent, who said, cheers, fellas. Nerdrotic, Drinker, Mauler, and Gundam. What a good time to get home from work. This is one hell of an open bar lineup. It absolutely is, and it's great to have all these guys on. I'll do a couple more and then finish up, I think. Stephen Bobo says, Critical Drinker, you could probably ask Gary... sorry, what's that? That when you can compare the power levels between the Marvel characters and the female characters, using the females are stronger than the men.
Just like the new Star Wars characters are stronger than the old ones.
I'm just kind of reading that verbatim. I think what he's trying to say is like, basically the new sort of female characters will be stronger than like the most powerful male ones of like previous phases.
Oh yeah, Miss Marvel is going to be stronger than most male characters in the MCU.
The power scaling is completely fucked at this point. No idea. I don't see how Galactus will be able to put up a fight anymore against any of these people. Like,
no.
Well, you brought this up on one of our previous streams, right? Now that we've reached the point where we were basically fighting for the stakes of the entire multiverse, all reality, every single person that exists across the entire multiverse of everything. If Galactus shows up and he's like, "Oh, I'm here to eat Earth" or whatever, people are just gonna be like, "Well, fucking, I don't care." Like that's small fry compared to what we've just dealt with.
It's like, yeah, I guess. Well, Captain Marvel will just fly through his head. Done.
Yeah, but then she might get a statue dropped on her. So who knows?
Oh gosh, no. Yeah, we can't avoid that. Ooh, can't have.
I think. Shit, where was it, Gary? I think I found the ultimate battle, or I did have it there, and it seems to have just moved. Fuck, where is it?
Hate it when that happens.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, oh yes. Take my money.
Gotta see that. Gotta see it. Make it happen somehow. I don't care how.
Do you think Doctor Strange is going to talk to anybody about the Illuminati? Like, man, I went to a universe where Captain America was fucking that Carter girl, where Captain Marvel was a black woman. Like, it was crazy, man. It was so strange. And then Captain Marvel's like, I was a black woman. What happened? And he's like, well, you got killed. And she's like, how? And he's like, you're not going to believe me. But I mean, the statue fell.
That was one of the post-credit scenes, not Doctor Strange getting down and gathering what was left of the Avengers and going, guys, we got a multiverse out there that can encourage on ours. We need to get on this right fucking now. No, it's Doctor Strange all, I'm not scared to love anymore. But I got a third eye.
Gary, we're fine. They got rid of all the Darkholds. No more dream walking for anybody. except all the temples that exist in all of the universes can be used to do it. It's like, oh, well.
I was just kind of picturing him like running into Reed Richards and being like, I saw you get turned into human spaghetti and then exploded like a balloon that got popped.
I'm surprised
a weird
it didn't lead
experience.
to him creating the Illuminati with like Charles Xavier, Namor, Silver Surfer. Well, Surfer didn't last long. Who else was in the Illuminati?
Black Bolt was in the Black Panther was in the
I thought Black Panther left.
Iron Man, he did. Iron Man was in it, in the
Yeah.
comic books, and left or died. God,
You're right though.
now it's a bunch of characters I barely recognize, to be
You
honest.
think Doctor Strange would be like, is there a Charles Xavier in our world? Just want to check. Make sure. It's like, I met this other guy, and man, I mean, he was an idiot, but he did have psychic powers, so like,
like when he pointed his fingers at you, holy shit.
XSL said, if I fought a dino knowing I'll kill it on my own, I would fight a pterodactyl, because if they all escape, this would be the hardest to capture. That is true.
I wonder what dinosaur meat tastes like.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well.
Chicken.
Gary, you just made me think of something pretty funny though, because you said he's like, when he points his finger at you, crazy things happen. What if, from Doctor Strange's POV, the mind stuff all happens in an instant? Therefore, you have Charles rolling up, going, enough, points his finger at her, and then breaks his own neck. That's what it comes across as to the outside world. It's like, why did he do that?
Wow, that
would be great to see, actually.
The box thinking there, Charles, but it didn't work.
You could quite easily re-edit that scene in the film just to show that.
Bold strategy, Charles. Let's see if it pans out.
See if it works out.
Next one. Where is it? It's, Mute Gamer says, I figured I'd ask what's your thoughts on the new Evil Dead video game. Seems like it's a game that would be up your alleys, guys. There's a new Evil Dead video game.
It is.
I've seen clips of it.
News to me.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that none of us have talked about it, because like maybe it would be on me to talk about it, because I think I play more games than all of us here, because I'm a Zoomer. But no, I don't know anything about the Evil Dead game. I've only seen clips of it.
I'll have to fire up my Steam account for the first time in 4 months and order it, and then never play it. Like I always
sounds like me.
Yep.
I like your strategy. Carrier a Raccoon City Story says, what's up, Drinker and Co? Happy to say I finally released my first official episode of my Resident Evil film noir graphic novel web series. Imagine a Resident Evil detective story told in the form of a maxed paying graphic novel cutscene. Cheers. I'd be fucking down with that.
Yeah.
There you go. Carrier a Raccoon City Story. That's what it is. So yeah, give it a look. And Ryan Patterson, who says, Spider-Man No Way Home is boring and meh. Oof. Changed my mind. Also, why does Man of Steel get so much hate? Dialogue and setups are way better, in my opinion.
You're not
I think
about
Wallace just ruptured something.
You're not about to drag down No Way Home while propping up Man of Steel, really? Like, come on, man. Did you guys see the thing? I think you shared it in the one of the Twitter groups we're in, but just the writer of Man of Steel being like, the reason that he didn't protect the building from the fucking truck that was launched into him by Zod is because we have to set up action so that cars will fall in ways they have to avoid them and stuff. When the whole criticism from everybody who's ever fucking seen that scene is, why does Superman just ignore this truck that's being thrown at him and instead allows it to hit a building? That's really strange. There's fights with the fucking writers about this online. You don't see people saying, I don't know, why did Toby protect Green Goblin from the? When he says like, look, I don't know. I'm going off of rails here. I'm just surprised that one would prop one and not the other for these two. Okay, one of them handled the character way better. Man of Steel's horrible.
There's always one.
This is a fight as old as, well, it's not time, as old as the 60s. DC versus Marvel. It's just bled out in a film. It's kind of funny. This is normal geek conversation. These are the things we want to actually be talking about.
I like Superman.
Man of Steel's better than No Way Home, bitch. Fuck you, ass. That's normal. I like that. That's what I would like to return to. I love it.
mean,
And those were the
fair,
biggest
yeah.
things we had to argue about. Those were good times. We didn't realize how good we had it.
The long
No.
ago.
And
There's more.
I like both movies. So there you go. I think No Way Home's better, but
I'd like to see this one.
Oh yeah, do that.
oh, Ezra
Okay,
Miller,
I'm
his
tuning
ass.
in.
Ezra Miller would fight him for NFTs or whatever the fuck he was saying when he was getting arrested.
What?
Ezra Miller has feet like a predator, so it will be evenly matched.
Oh, you didn't hear that when Ezra Miller was getting arrested? There's body cam footage, and he's
Yes.
all, "I'm gonna." What is he? What did he say? I'm gonna use police brutality and sell it as NFT.
Yes, I remember reading he was going to sell the video as an NFT.
Yes.
I haven't watched it yet because people want me to do a video on it, so I've purposefully avoided as much as possible.
Oh, please do. Please do a video on it just for me.
I have to find the strength.
I just love how guys like that get to do what they do, and they get to carry on having their film roles and stuff. Like Amber Heard still is in Aquaman 2.
Believe all women, bigot.
Well, do you hear what she said about that in her? One of the actually, she said she's at this point she has no idea how much of her is even in the film anymore.
I would hazard a guess that they've reduced her down, her role, as much as possible.
You know what they need to do, Draker, is give her the same treatment as the villain from The Predator. She accidentally killed herself off screen.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Or she's about to like say something, and like a fish hook will get put through her head or something.
Well, yeah, we'll see what they do. Something I was just thinking about, by the way, on that topic, is it you got Patty Jenkins try to defend her movie on Twitter? The recent one with Man of Steel happened. It's like, what the difference between maybe Marvel and DC? One of them, anyways. Does Kevin Feige like tell everybody not to do anything like that publicly with writers and stuff? Do you think try and keep everything looking nice and clean, like Disney, Star Wars stuff as well?
Yeah, there's you do have more creative freedom and freedom to go out and say whatever the hell you want at WB.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now. I don't know under the new guy. I don't know if that's going to be.
I don't think the new guy is messing around at all.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think any of this stuff applied to Lucasfilm, though, did it? Because their staff, their writers, they would just go out and fucking beef with everyone on social media.
Oh, Pablo popped off just a couple of days ago.
Oh,
with that
right.
Kathleen Kennedy article. That guy's a piece of shit.
The name
But isn't it
Pablo
like-
rings a bell.
Pablo Hidalgo.
That definitely rings a bell.
One of the biggest pieces of shit in Lucasfilm.
Does it ever cost them for doing that, or does it always just seem to? Because I don't know, man. It just always feels so weird to like.
He's pretty protected because he was there for a while. Because he was fucking some IT
So
guy.
someone mentioned Chuck Wendig as well.
Yeah, he did get fired because he's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But no, he said, what did he say? He tweeted out the article, and then he said something about YouTubers, like backhanded kind of thing. The guy just can't shut up. It's like, dude, you work at Star Wars, but you got to go out there and bring up the fan shit again. And you know, it's funny. You saw that article come out, and it kind of stirred up the Star Wars fandom again. But it confirmed what everybody's been fucking saying forever. And it was barely a bump in the road. It's like, it's a big long article about Kathleen Kennedy. Who gives a fuck? She's still there. She still sucks. She'll continue to suck. Star Wars is in such a sad place.
She'll be out any day now. Jeez.
I wish they'd let Star Wars die.
I do too. There's still like they even tried to blame the fans to stoke the fires again to get the fans mad. We're like, whatever. Fuck off.
Go
Yeah.
fuck yourself.
Fuck off. That's the general vibe, I think.
Yeah, it's like the fans are like, yeah, blame us for whatever you want. We don't care. It's just like, let's go and enjoy something else.
Or you're still not going to get my money ever. So whatever you think is whatever you think.
I bought a Mando helmet. They got me.
Wow.
Well,
You
they would've-
sold out Gundam.
It was one of 1,000.
You don't even like Mando.
But I just love collecting.
It is good. I think probably there's enough like super chats that we've done tonight. Like
Mando's
I'll-
okay, by the way. I'm not like in love with it.
Eh.
I'm a costume guy.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into the art of stuff, that's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I might
The show,
throw the whole
I could
suit.
just, it's filler. It'll fill some time, I suppose.
It was
but
better
yeah, like,
than The Last Jedi.
well, yeah, I mean, like getting my fingernails ripped out is probably better than that, but yeah, it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, gentlemen, I just want to say thanks to you guys for coming on tonight. Like, you guys have been awesome as always.
It's always good to complain.
Yes,
It is.
cathartic.
Just have a nice good bitching session, and it's great because they keep providing us with more content. So what can you do?
Because I
Hey,
can't talk to women
Loki
about
season
this
2
stuff.
started filming, so that'll be coming up eventually
no.
as well.
Yay!
Exciting stuff.
Wait, what? Loki's back again?
Well, sorry, it should be called Sylvie season 2, but that's fine.
Sylvie.
Yay.
I mean, yeah, it's like check out the enthusiasm from everyone here. It's like, yeah, there's another show. Yeah.
What else can they ruin? Why not?
Just go nuts, Marvel. You know, produce like 12 shows a year, so we just never have a lull in content.
We don't even remember what life is anymore. It's just shows.
It's sad
Yeah.
that these shows come out and you forget them so easily.
Yep.
Unless it's like exponentially bad. That's the only way you remember, at least for me.
They don't have any
Pretty much.
rewatchability as well with the way they're made. They're also
It's
like a
It's
Kit Kat.
disposable, isn't it? It's just like it's like going to a fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
You get your show, you eat it, you know, you forget about it. That's it. You know, move on
Personally,
to the
if
next
I
thing.
work for these companies, I'd be shitting bricks because the Japanese market is kicking the hell out of them.
Yep. And and to defend fast food, a Big Mac has never called me a bigot.
That's true.
Yeah.
Give
That
it
is
time,
better,
Gary. Give it time.
Oh, I'm sure it will. Or maybe
Yeah, it's like you'll get the box and it'll just be like a BLM sticker on the front or something, or like, are you feeling guilty yet, or whatever.
Then I'll say no because the BLM lady gave crazy amounts of money to family members for fuck all.
Look, they needed those mansions, Gundam.
I guess so.
Don't you understand? That's how they need to
in
to
white
operate.
neighborhoods.
In white neighborhoods, no less. I know.
Whitest neighborhoods in America.
But they can't
There
go
you
to
go.
the hood. They'll be robbed.
Oh hell no.
Bigot Mac.
Oh,
How did we
Bigot
miss
Mac. Yeah.
it?
that was good. Well done. You earned this. There you go.
Yay! But yeah, honestly, guys, thank you for this. For everyone who's watching, if you're not already following Nerdrotic and Gundam and Mauler, what the fuck is wrong with you? Please give them a follow. They are awesome. They all produce awesome stuff.
Yeah,
And
let's
there's
get
some
me
of the
to a
few.
million.
Yay! Get them there. But yeah, all three of you guys, you are some of the only people that, like, every time you put out a new video, I watch it every time. And
Wow, thanks. Same
I'm
Don't worry,
surprised.
Drinker. I won't tell anyone else. All of the people we're friends with who aren't on this stream
I
right now, I won't tell
don't like
any of
them
them.
don't like their stuff as much as you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you to you guys, and thank you to everyone in chat for joining us tonight. It's been great, and all the awesome super chats. If I've missed any, I will catch up on them over the weekend. And to my mods as well for doing your usual awesome job. You guys are great. But yeah, I guess that's all we've got for tonight. So we're all going to go away now.
Bye-bye.